Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again here to Velocity Racing Network, the new merged virtual racing network and Full Velocity TV. We're here at Martinsville Speedway for 200 laps. And again, should be a great race. Before we get into all of the racing details and introduce our second chair here for tonight, we, of course, need to go over the sponsors here for tonight's race. And on the racing side of things, a big shout out to the main sponsor putting this series on. That is Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm. Make sure you check them out at wallsbeardco.com. On the racing side of things, we wouldn't be here for 2019 if it wasn't for the following partners, and there is actually some that will be listed here shortly that are not on this list here. Northwest Racing Series, your official one-to-go sponsor for tonight's race. Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm, your official starting grid sponsor. RaceOnTexas.com, the dirt partner here for Full Velocity Racing Network. Hanover Wrecker Services, there had a glitch there. Hanover Wrecker Service, your official caution sponsor on the Edge Motorsports, Huffman Designs, and Racecore. That will do it here for the sponsors as we got about 18 or so minutes left. But it is time to introduce the second chair here for tonight, and that is the one and only Phil. So Phil, welcome to the booth once again.
Yeah, it's very good to be back there, Charles, live here for a late night Thursday night for me out here in the East Coast as we're pushing 11:30 now. And great to come back over here to the Northwest Racing Series, the truck series out here tonight at the Martinsville Speedway. Should be a great time, great event we got going on here. I really enjoyed this league last time we came out, so I'm glad you all invited me to come back as we had a spare time in the evening. And you know, the original show I was going to do earlier this evening didn't quite go as way I hoped it would, so I guess it come out here now. And fool around these guys, we'll have a good night with it, Charles. I think we're in for a great race. Martinsville, as we know, the paperclip in Martinsville, Virginia. Tight racing, short track, you know, a lot of green guys out here, a lot of racers that consider themselves friends, but sometimes in Martinsville, racing gets the best of you here, as we're all competitive, of course, and it's just tight territory we're going to play in tonight, so I think we're going to be in for it here. Awesome main event coming up for these guys.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think we're in for a treat here. We both had races going on earlier tonight, or at least we're supposed to be going on. We had, of course, the Schaefer's Oil Modified Touring Series a little bit before this, so we slung some dirt, had some great racing between those drivers, as always. And then, of course, we're here coming to Martinsville, the paperclip, as you mentioned earlier. It's going to be interesting. They have 17 minutes here to lay down some rubber on this track. And of course, it's going to be key. You want to get a lot of rubber laid on this track because, it is the mayhem at Martinsville, as it can be described. And you very well could see some mayhem here tonight. We got about 23 drivers that are here so far. If we get 35 cars on here, we very well could see quite a few cautions. I'm not sure exactly how many we'll see, but I expect to see at least 2 or 3, if not more.
200 laps at Martinsville. If we do this in less than 3 yellows, Charles, I will literally go out there and I'll buy drinks for everybody out there on the racetrack. I'll buy drinks for all our viewers out here tonight on Facebook Live and YouTube and whatnot. But nobody would be more thrilled than me. I mean, considering here it's 11:30 on the East Coast, I've been awake all day, so you know, if we're here past 2 in the morning, I'm probably sure I'll be dragging butt here a little while. But if these guys do this race in less than 3 yellows, drinks on me. Nothing more I can do.
Well, there you have it. Make sure you clip that right there. Drinks on field. If this thing goes caution free. So it has been done before. I don't think it was at Martinsville, but they have gone caution free here in this league before. But again, that was not at Martinsville. This track is one of those that's tough to get around by yourself, much less adding 20 to 25 plus cars on the track. So right now, interesting's kind of going on here. I want to talk about a little bit is Josh Coley in that 33 machine. He is your fastest time right now here in practice, and why I want to point that out is because he is one of the drivers here that is notorious for not qualifying. He will start in the back, typically on the mile and a half and super speedways, but this is Martinsville. Do you run that strategy. It's worked for him nearly every race. He starts in the back, works his way up through the field, as well as a few other drivers. But can you really do that here at Martinsville and get away with it?
I guess if you are really, I don't know, that confident in your ability, want to start in the back of a place like Martinsville, have at it. But 20 plus trucks, if I'm Josh, I want to put myself out there close to the front of the field as I can. I want to stay out of the mess back there. It's a tight, short track. It is tough to pass here. You get 23 other guys around you beating and banging. I want to be in clean air. I want to keep the fenders on because who knows? You get turned around and, T-bone somebody else's business and whatnot. It can completely destroy your truck. It can completely ruin your night. So, at all bets are off. I'm the 33, and I wish I was that quick at Martinsville. I want to start right up there at the front of the field, and I want to lead as many of these laps as I can. Heck with that being in the back business, being tore up.
Yeah, I'm with you. I want to be as close to the front of this race as I can. And of course, there are a lot of rookies in here. And when we say rookie, we don't mean that their safety rating is a rookie. We mean rookies that were not here last season when we ran this track, like Bill Ross Jr., Casey Tillman, Travis McKinney. Some of these guys, we go further back here, BJ Tidrick, James Vining. These guys were not here last season when we ran this, so we've already, I believe, doubled what we had last season as far as car count, and I will make sure I will pull that up to clarify that. Last year's race actually had 22 drivers, so we haven't quite doubled, but we do have more than we did last year, and a lot of rookies that are in this series, so that's going to make it a challenge here. You don't know how the competition is necessarily going to race compared to last year.
Well, and keep in mind also, you may have some guys who, that show for a lot of years that were consistently running up front. They may be trying their hand at, it's iRacing. There's big dreams out there. You can go out there running some of these pro and, peak series and pro series and a lot of other stuff out there that comes with a lot of acclaim. And face it, there's a lot of green you can make out there as well if you're on top of your talent. So guys may be off chasing that, or life can sometimes get in the way and take some guys out there, and the same thing with this rookie group. You've got hungry young guys, trying to come correct, cut their teeth in a great league and a great series like this. I mean, it's a mosh posh of greatness and uncertainty all the way around, but that's what the intrigue is about a league like this that brings in the great car count it does, and, following the schedule the way these guys do bring this here to Martinsville tonight. I mean, this is exactly the kind of thing you can expect. You've got the rookies who've got nothing to lose, and the veterans who, think they may have known and may have forgotten more than some of these rookies may know.
Yeah, it definitely is, and just to go over a little bit of the schedule here while we have a few minutes. You obviously were here at Martinsville tonight for 200 laps. Then we go to Richmond for 150 laps. So Richmond, it's a fairly decent track, a little tough for some people, but that's not the track I want to talk about. When we come back on April 11th, that's the track I want to talk about. Actually the next 2 weeks, April 11th and the 25th, we go to Atlanta Motor Speedway, which is obviously everybody knows as Hot Atlanta, and then we turn around and go to Dover after a week off. So, two very tough tracks there, Dover, and then you have Atlanta as well. So two very, very tough tracks, three if you count tonight as well.
Absolutely, and the tracks just keep rolling out. They're going to get better and better. The racing series is going to get really good, and we've seen it already hit the season. I was only here a couple weeks ago in Vegas, and I know you were here last week as well. So we got a lot more great stuff to come. Martinsville is a whole beast in its own self, and I'm just watching these guys practicing, Charles. It's open setup here. You can see a lot of these guys really have their trucks really, it looks like, on the edge of the loose side. So I'm curious to see how these guys will handle it if they're out there this loose by themselves. I wonder when you put these guys together in a pack in race conditions, because you cannot simulate race conditions here in practice. You may think you can, but you absolutely can't. You can't duplicate that adrenaline. I wonder how these trucks are going to react when they're in traffic by looking at these guys just really loose the way they are.
Yeah, you're absolutely right on that, because right now, if these guys are running roughly the same times or in that range, they're all spread out. So this is more like, 30, 40 laps into a green flag run right now, which is not how the race is going to be. Once we get the green, if they're, a tenth, 2 tenths off of each other, they're going to be bunched together. And that is really going to play a factor into it, as it always does on little tracks like this, because of the fact that you may not get that preferred line. You practice and practice running a specific line. This is the line I like, and if that line gets taken away from you when you go into a corner, then you have to react. That's why racing is racing, and it's not, football or baseball, where you have a play and you have to go off that play. And if you're not free, well, too bad, you don't get the ball. No, here, it doesn't matter if your spot's taken or not. You have to find a way around this place.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's tough to do. It's all about way you get your braking points. You got to slow these trucks down. They're heavy. They carry a lot of speed. They carry a lot of clout. You got to be able to set your braking points right. You got to have the brake bias to set this right. You don't want to overslide the tires because, let's face it, you kill your tires in a place like Martinsville, these things become awful. They become such a chore to drive. And who likes to drive an awful handling truck? Not me. I know I do it enough. I don't know how to set my stuff up. So you upset these things early. I don't know. I'm just watching these guys in practice, and I'm almost thinking, Martinsville, naturally, you start with a loose setup, then you get the tire pressures built up. They're probably going to get a tad bit tighter. We're going to see contact out here tonight. There's no doubt about that. It's Martinsville. It's always going to be that way. But, I'm just really curious to see how, over the course of 200 laps, how these trucks get tighter and see who's on top of the adjustments, because whoever stays on top of the adjustments is going to be the guy who's going to be the victor here this evening.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Whoever can go throughout this race and make the adjustments to race the track. And I believe it was Dale Earnhardt that said it best. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was him that told you don't race the competitors, you race the track. The track is what's constantly changing, and the drivers are only going to change if they're able to adapt to that. So you really have to race this track. Whether the track is getting hotter, colder, your tires are wearing faster or slower. That's what you're really racing here. And, you speak about tires and all of that stuff. I think we need to pull somebody in here and see if we can't get a fuel window here for this race. So I have my go-to guy here, which is Jeff. So give us just a minute here. We're going to see if we can't pull him in here for at least a minute or two before the driver's meeting and see if we can't possibly get a tire window here for you. So give us just a minute. We will be right back. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and we have our go-to guy here, as we like to call him, the Beard of Knowledge, here in the booth with us, and that is the one and only, the 24 of Jeff Stabnow. And Jeff, you know why you're here. We get you down here. You spend more time than anybody probably practicing with these, so we got to know what kind of fuel window we're looking at here tonight, and how does that compare to the tire window?
Oh, you would ask me the fuel window. I'm not sure exactly. I didn't get a full fuel run in. I think we have somewhere between 120 and 140 laps of fuel on a full tank here. So 200-mile race. I think we're looking at one fuel stop. I would imagine we'll have more cautions. Not sure that'll come into play. Tires, these things are actually pretty easy on the tires. Again, I didn't get that full fuel run in here on this. The weather was just playing havoc with our sets, and so we were constantly adjusting on the sets. But I don't think tires are, maybe half a fuel run you'll be wishing you had tires, but I'm thinking you go 70 or 80 laps before you're really crying for tires.
Well, definitely tires are going to be a little bit more of an issue, as I would imagine here. If we get a couple of cautions, people will come down and get fuel and tires. So one-stop race could make it very interesting here. I don't think we'll see anyone not take tires, but then again, I have been wrong before. And I believe Phil has stepped away to get a refreshment here at the moment. So, of course, before we let you go, driver's meeting is coming up. We know you got a list of sponsors and shout-outs.
Yeah, well, Sean's got the driver's meeting. It's happening right now, but shout outs obviously to you there, Charles. Forgive me, you got a new name now. You're gonna have to say it. I forgot.
The Full Velocity Racing Network.
Yeah, FVRN. So big shout out to you guys. Love working with you, and now we got all kinds of talent showing up in the booth. So pretty amazing there. Obviously, Walls Beard Co. Primary League sponsor. We run them on the trucks, team sponsor. So FVRN sponsor. So Walls Beard Co. pretty big, making a lot of this happen here. Big into sim racing, back into sim racing. So gotta love that. And then big shout out to all the guys that are going to come out here and the temperaments that we're hoping that they're able to leave with. Short track racing. I think we got 30 guys on track, and this is a hot track. There's no grip. You can't brake getting into the corner. It tries to slide on you. You go to step on the gas, and the rain wants to come around. It's an ice skating rink out there right now. It's so hot. And so just hats off to all these drivers that are going to come out here and try to keep their tempers in check and have fun and put on a good show, because I think this track is going to test us all tonight, not just on the track but personally too. So I think that's about it.
All right, well, as always, we definitely appreciate the insight there. So we'll be looking for one stop for fuel, and the rest will be for tires. Good luck, and hopefully we'll talk to you later on the night.
All right, thanks, Charles.
All right, not sure if Phil is back. Phil, you got a copy?
Absolutely, yes I did. I heard the tail end of that interview too, and I got to echo all that Jeff said. Great to have all the talent that we're going to announce, immense up here in the booth over time. I know our partner Todd will be over here alongside at some point over here on a Thursday night. The more our schedules can allow, the more we'll be here for these late night series. Tough for us East Coast guys. I don't have much of a life and standing to do much here in the daytime, so I can stay out here and party on all night with you. But Todd, from sometimes when his schedule allows, he'll be here as well. We'll have a great time here. But so much great stuff going on: the merger, the renaming, the rebranding of Full Velocity Racing Network, bringing the best of the both worlds together. There is so many big things to come for us. I don't even think we know the stratosphere what we're about to do. The league outreach we're going to have out there, the immense talent we're going to have here for the booth. We're going to be busy. The good thing is, Charles, we have an asset to each other, and we're going to assemble quite the team here. There is going to be no other broadcast company quite like the Full Velocity Racing Network.
That is true. Of course, in the works, a brand new website which will allow us to be able to stream to the website as well as our on-demand section on there. We'll be putting all of our big highlighted videos on there, of course, on demand. So we'll be chopping some of those up. We'll put some highlight videos on the website as well. So a lot of really cool stuff in the works here, as you just said. And speaking of in the works, we got 2 minutes left on the clock before we get the green flag dropping here for qualifying. So it's going to be interesting to see who the fastest driver is here. Mark Walls won this race last year. He is currently sitting in 12th place here in practice. So 12th fastest. I don't know if that really says a whole lot. He could have not even gone out there for a qualifying run. These guys could be running their race setup and not their qualifying setup. So this whole thing could shake up once we get to qualifying.
Absolutely right. I'm looking forward to see where qualifying times kind of sit here, because practice, as you said, about 90 seconds away from getting its conclusion, and Josh Cully's number 33 currently sits top of the board with a 19.264. Bill Ross Jr., the number 17, second quick, 19.303, 19.313 for Casey Tillman's number 92. William Fletcher, 28 truck, 19.353 in the top five, rounding out by Travis McKinney, the number 88, a 13.353. Those are pretty quick times. I wonder where we'll see qualifying time sit. Josh Cully put a hell of a time down. The only guy to break the threes, 19.264. I wonder if he could back up a time like that in qualifying if he decides to qualify.
Yeah, that is a big if. Again, he's one of them that chooses not to more often than not. And if he can, replicate that in qualifying, he would probably have pole at least in the top 3, top 5. And I really think he probably had that truck as taped up as he could to get that run. I do not think that will be our times during the race. I think they will be a little bit slower than that come race time. I think we'll be closer to the 19.5s and into the 20s That would be a question as we got 17 seconds. How much fall off will we have here tonight? As we know, they can get about 120 laps of fuel. So if we don't go into a caution fest, we very well could see a significant fall off speed-wise.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I'm just really anxious to see is how the last 2 seconds, it looks like clicking down here in practice. The trucks are being brought in, the checkered flag being put on this practice session. So everybody's going to have to come toward pit road now. All our eyes turn toward qualifying there. 10 minutes these guys have to put 2 laps down. 2 laps. That's all you got to make it, and that could really make or break your night because in a place like this, Charles, where track position is going to be so key, it is so tough to pass, a prime qualifying spot, even more so, a prime pit position could be very key here this evening.
It very well could be, and so far, not a single driver coming out of there. We're going to have Ryan Maines jump on to the track, so we'll go ahead and drop down to that number 13 machine as he is going to come out onto the track. And you may see some of these guys, using their cams there, their camera angles they can see. And look at these clouds. Look for a shadow coming over this track as it's 104 degrees. So definitely if a cloud can roll over and you can take advantage of that, it will help you tremendously.
And that's just so cool as I come over here and learn the transitions, the way this stuff is dynamic, and on the pavement and iRacing takes away. A cloud can make, and I hear that real stuff. To feel that they've translated stuff like that into a simulation like iRacing, absolutely amazing. You can duplicate some of the conditions these guys face in the real life stuff. This is so cool. A cloud, something as little as a cloud rolling over, can pick your truck up to a whole 1/10 or 2/10 of a second. At a place like Martinsville, that's a case of being up in the top 5 to being outside the top 20. It's really amazing.
It definitely is, and right now the fastest time is Ryan Maines with a 19.510. Behind him, Daniel Masters, a 19.685 and a 21.010 for Caden Anderson. So times are starting to come in here for tonight's race. We'll just have to kind of wait and see who's going to be at the top. Dana Rogers, he has run a 20.014. Not a bad time. That being said, but I don't think it's going to be a top 10, maybe top 5 time once everyone does come in qualifying.
I don't know. I'm starting to think you're going to be in the 19.7 or better bracket if you want to even see the top 10 here in qualifying. At 20.04 at the naked eye, it may not be a bad lap, but I think that may put him, I'm thinking Charles, he's going to probably be somewhere 15th or worse from there. At 20.0 at Martinsville, you usually think it's a pretty solid number. I just don't think after seeing these guys in practice. I'm curious to see how these guys have. We know they probably practice on a long run set. I wonder what these guys all have a qualifying set. I'll be stunned if that 20.0 stays up in the top 10.
Yeah, I will be too, as Ray Fournier runs a 19.656. That will put him in second place. Daniel Masters behind him. Stephen Paulson, fourth place in the 58 machine with a 19.699. And you see right there is that 20.0 or 20.990 and even the 20.014 from Dana Rogers starting to drop down slowly but surely as BJ Tiderick is out on the track.
Sure is, and BJ puts a heck of a lap down. Quick time, currently 19.466. 19.466, so the 72 truck of BJ Tiderick. That's over, it's about a 10th better than the outside pole sitter right now, number 13 of Ryan Maines. So that 466, that one's going to be tough to go by, but you still got guys, like Cully out there, number 33, he's yet to post time out there. Bill Ross Jr. yet to go out in qualifying. He was quick up there. Casey Tillman, the entire top 3 in the practice session. Not one of those guys that went out there yet to put their lap times down.
Yeah, and it'll be curious to see if they do. As Rob Stewart out on the track right now in the number 76 Nationwide machine. We'll see what kind of time he does put in. Sean Brightsman now fixes to come out on the track. James Thurston in the 2. He is currently out on the track. Rob Stewart to 8th place. And Corey Walters with the 19.369 will take the top time here so far.
Yeah, I wasn't going to jump all over you, but I saw that time go up there, 19.368. 19.368 for the 9 of Corey Walters. That's an impressive time. I mean, they're approaching 2 range. That's only where Cully the 33 got here in practice. So we'll see if Josh Cully decides to come out there and take time or not. Also, you got likes like Mark Walls who've yet to go out there. Mark, defending series champion, multiple time winner. Sean Brightsman, haven't seen him yet go out there. I see the first of those, Walls Beard Co. trucks. John Ottenbacher, number 89, goes out there. He clocks a lap of 19.573. That is fourth quick, but that's a 57 versus a 36 up there on the pole. Corey Walters, what a heck of a lap. I'm going to tell you, that lap is probably going to stick him in the top 5.
Yeah, and one of those fast practice drivers, Bill Ross Jr., he is out on the track now. Going to see what he can put in the number 17 machine. But like you said, it'll be interesting to see if they can hit those twos. I'm not sure they're going to have to hit a perfect lap to do so. I think we may see Corey Walters on pole here for this race. We'll just have to kind of wait and see his second place with a 14.409, and that's right where he was in practice, in second place.
Sure was, right there in second, but a tenth slower. His fastest lap in practice was a 19.303, so a 19.409, that's a tenth slower. So if somebody like Josh Cully's out there in the 33, remember, he put in 19.264. If he goes out there and even goes a tenth slower with a 3.64, that's still going to put him on the pole, but that's probably going to be about 4 thousandths if he can do so. So it's a great lap of the 9 truck. Corey Walters, a tremendous time there. Bill Ross Jr. currently sitting second quick. BJ Tidrick, Ryan Maines, and AJ Williamson, a new name up there. He's popped into a top 5 with a 19.528. That's a pretty solid time. These 5s may hold on for the back part of the top 10. They may even penetrate there, the back part of the top 5.
And there you have it right there. Josh Coley just ran a 19.287.
Wow.
So a blistering fast time. And Steve Silstad and was his teammate now to fourth. Sean Breitzman, a 19.259.
19.259 for Mr. Breitzman in the 46. So he betters Josh Cully. Breitzman put up there a 19.423 in practice, so that is a big pickup for the 46 truck. Currently our provisional pole sitter over himself. Josh Cully going to get kicked to the outside row. 19.287, but a guy we talked about earlier, Charles. Josh notoriously does not qualify. Currently sitting on the outside of the front row, and another heavy hitter, Mark Waltz, goes out there, clocks in third quick, 19.289. So we saw one guy in the twos in practice with Josh Cully. We got 3 in qualifying to hit that 2.
We do indeed. As they'll they'll kind of wrap it up there for them. But we currently have James Vining out on the track. Well, he is the only one out on the track here at the moment that is qualifying. It looks like he ran a 19.918, so his times should be done, as that's going to be a 19.873, so that will be his second lap. But Scott Hutchinson, Gerald Heffley, Frank Harris, and Brian Payne have not come out onto the track, and with 2.5 minutes, they still have time to do so. I'm just not sure if they're going to.
Not quite so sure they will, but, to update, our earlier conversation, we talked about Dana Rogers of the 07. We were out there talking about that 20.0 was going to be, usually a good lap here. Look at Dana Rogers, Charles. He's free falling. I said it. I don't think that lap was going to stay in the top 15, maybe the top 20. At 20.014 sits 23rd quickest in practice right now. That shows the speed, the strength of this field we have here. We've got some really fast trucks, especially in qualifying trim. The question is now, how do they transfer over for 200 laps? So you're going to think that's a completely different beast.
Yeah, you've definitely got to, hold on for 200 laps, which I believe is 100 and some odd miles, if my math is correct. We'll go and look that up.
100.
There you go, 100 miles. So, half the distance in miles than there is actually laps, but still, it's going to be a very, very long or short race. I guess technically it could be a long night if there's cautions, short night if there's not. And just to give some back history from the last race here, Mark Walls may have won the race last year when we came here. However, Jeff Stabnow led the most laps. Mark Walls had the fastest lap of the race, but Jeff Stabnow had the fastest qual time. So, two of those drivers that, had really good times. Only one of them currently in the top 5. And at the moment we're seeing here, Jeff Stabnow barely in the top 10 in 10th place.
Yeah, currently sitting there in that 10th position, as you said, a 19.495. He backed up exactly what he ran in practice. So very consistent there. You almost wonder if he qualified on the race setup to be that consistent with it. Jeff Stab now sitting 10th quick, but I'm thinking it's pretty safe to say as a precious seconds of qualifying tick down. I believe we're going to see our quick time set here tonight by Sean Brightsman at number 46, a 19.235 to put him on the top of the spot there. Josh Cully on the outside, a 19.287, 19.289 for the 48 of Mark Wall. Steve Selstad, the 65 with a great lap as well, a 19.321. And running in our top 5 was third quick in practice, the number 92 of Casey Tillman, 19.351. That's our top 5, and it looks like that's exactly where they're going to be, because I believe qualifying, Charles, has come to conclusion.
It has indeed come to an end. There you see the time ticking away there. They got 1 second left on the clock. As there it is. It is time to get to your Walls Beard Co. starting grid here for tonight's race. So we're going to go ahead and drop down to the track with them here. And you want to go through our top 10 here, and then I will finish us off.
Absolutely. On the pole, driver of truck number 46 of Walls Beer Co. Number 46, Sean Brightsman, and alongside of him, the number 33, that is Josh Cully. In row number 2, the number 48 car is Mark Walls, with Steve Stilstead, the number 65 alongside. In our third row, we find the number 92 truck, that is Casey Tillman, and alongside of Casey in the number 9, that is Corey Walters. In row number 4, the number 17 is Bill Ross Jr. with the number 28 of William Fletcher alongside. And running in our top 10 here tonight, truck number 72 of BJ Tidrick, and alongside in the 24, that's Jeff Stabnow.
In row 6 is going to be the 88 of Travis McKinney and the 13 of Ryan Maines. Row 7 is going to be the 27 of AJ Williamson and the 95 of Josh Cushman. Row 8 is going to be the 89 of John Ottenbacher and the 2 of James Thurston. Row 9 is going to be the 26 of Ray Fournier and the 03 of Daniel Masters. Row 10 is going to be the 58 of Stephen Paulson and the 40 of Bruce Weaver. Pardon me. Row 11 is going to be the 333 of James Vining and the 76 of Rob Stewart. Row 12 is going to be the 07 of Dana Rogers and the 8 of Gary Nichols. Row 12 is going to be the 1 of Caden Anderson and the 77 of Brian Payne. Row 14, first driver's not taking a time, is going to be the 91 of Scott Hutchinson and the 11 of Frank Harris. Row 15, and you're rounding out your fields here tonight, is going to be the 62 of Gerald Heffley, also not taking a time here tonight. And that'll do it for your Walls Beard Co. starting grid. And it looks like Brian Payne, who is scheduled to start 26, is not going to be on the grid here tonight.
No, it doesn't look so. So it looks like 27 trucks will take the green flag here. 200 trips around at Martinsville. That is a workout within its own right. But to think about it, Charles, that is banging on these brake pedals and turning 400 times. I hope these guys are ready, because I know we're in for a workout with the vocal cords. If these guys with steering wheels in hand, they are going to be in for a workout like you can't duplicate at any other racetrack.
Yeah, they definitely are. As I'm still fighting that cough that I have, so hopefully that will go away here tonight. Pace car will be diving off this next time by, as we're set to get the green flag. That's going to be Sean Brightsman and Josh Coley leading them to the flags. And we'll go ahead and get our main bar up. You're watching the Northwest Truck Series presented by Walls Beard Co. here on Full Velocity Racing Network, your source for esports racing. As the green flag does come out, we start lap number 1 of 200. The question is, how many cautions will we have, and how quickly will they get to that checkered flag tonight?
Well, we're going to have to wait and see, because it is tough out here early. You're starting mid-pack with a good fast truck. You're going to have to be patient, or you're a guy who put a good qualifying lap down. You're going to have to keep that truck underneath you early, as we're already knocking fenders up here. Racing for second, Mark Walls to the inside of Josh Cully's 33 truck. Mark Walls on the inside of the second row, already up to second. Sean Brightsman, he's got 2 truck lengths here to turn 3, but caution flag on the speedway. Yellow out on the opening laps of the race here on lap number 2. We find our first caution flag of the night here, so I'll throw it down to Charles, who I know is quick as can be on these replays. So show us what happened. I haven't yet even found it.
Yeah, we're back here with the 24, the 89, just that now, John Ottenbacher. And again. Not sure. We're looking to see. Ooh, it looks right there. I believe that's the 21. Jeff Stabnow gets spun around there, and pretty much a roadblock after that. The whole track is blocked for the 24, the 89, the 07, the 76. Just really nowhere to go. And I say that was the 21. I'm not sure if that is correct, but somebody got to the back bumper of Jeff Stabnow. As we'll see if we can take a look and see who it was that got to his back bumper, but somebody definitely got to his back bumper.
I'm not quite sure either, so I'm going back to look. Yeah, definitely contact, but I can't see the number here from whatever camera I checked to. So maybe you got some more views than I do, but Stabnow definitely got hit from the back end there. Truck went around, and unfortunately, that solid top 10 qualifying run for Jeff. Well, he's going to restart now 28th. Looks like he may even be down pit side, but a little bit of damage to the back with 24. So, a good night to start. May have just turned upside down already for that Walls Beard Co. number 24 car.
Yeah, you got the 24 and the 07 having a Mexican standoff kind of there at the exit. It looks like the exit pit road. I'm not sure what was going on there, but the caution is out here, and Brian Payne, the only driver to not start this race so far, but early on lap 3, caution number 1 coming out here. I expected to see it, but I didn't quite expect to see that soon.
All right, so this is what I got to ask you here: is a new partnership, feeling each other out, calling races together. I've heard Todd throw some doozies here before, but can you clarify a Mexican standoff? What is it? Because I'm speechless.
Apparently, maybe just a Texas thing. I thought it was everywhere, but around here, it's just where two people standing off, basically. But it very well could be a Texas-only thing. Basically, it's the same thing as an old Western standoff, or a shootout, whatever you want to call it.
All right, that makes more sense.
It's side by side. Usually you're in front of each other, but it's also referred to as playing chicken a little bit. But they were side by side, and neither one of them wanted to go, so they were waiting on something. I'm just not sure what it was. Maybe to get something cleared, penalties or whatever, as these guys clear penalties if needed as they go. But speaking of clearing things, the sky is not clear right now. You can see it's gotten darker with the cloud rolling over. But green flag is about to come out, so this should give them a little bit more grip as the track's down from 104 to 99 degrees. Green flag back in the air here on lap number 8.
Absolutely right, and Bright's going to lead the field this time at turn number 1 and 2. Now Josh Cully having the benefit of the inside of the second row. He's going to take the fight to Mark Walls in the 48 down the back chute into turn number 3. Looks like the 48 going to fight back up high. The outside group is going to stay there. The question is, how much do you want to burn your tires up early trying to defend a position racing up there?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think you want to spend too much time burning up your tires. And one thing we have to point out here, too, while we're watching this battle is we do not want to see too many cautions. We almost faced this last night. You see caution after caution after caution, and we start seeing those, and they delay this race too terribly much. The sun is going down, and this track does not have lights.
Does not yet. I guess what they say, the NASCAR schedule next year, they're going to have lights at Martinsville, so maybe iRacing will eventually get on that and put some lights around this place as well. But yeah, that's it. Absolutely indeed. They don't want to chase the light here. Yes, you're hopefully going to have a lot of green flag racing. Right away, Charles, I found one of our early jumpers here, the number 17 of Bill Ross Jr., all the way up to the 5th spot, and that's a pretty good jump there. They're in qualifying lap. Qualified 7th, but I see that truck now up into the top 5, and he has passed some good trucks, and he is knocking on the back door of the Casey Tillman machine. As we have caution on the speedway, just as Mark Wallace and Sean Brightson are starting to race lead.
Indeed, it is for BJ Tidrick, who is stuck in the fence. Let's go back and take a look and see what in the world happened to him as he's battling with the 28. I believe that is William Fletcher that he's racing with. But what in the world caused him to get hung in the fence is the question. Oh, right there, the 28 just comes up into him and bam, into the fence, and he is stuck in the fence, and he will have to tow in order to get free of that fence. So, unfortunate night here for him.
And as a guy who has been stuck in that fence, more times than I can count on 2 hands and 2 feet, and probably your 2 hands and 2 feet, and maybe my wife's 10 fingers and 8 toes. I mean, it's hard to get stuck on one of the fences at Martinsville, but it happens, and it's unfortunate.
And I will say this, for all the naysayers out there that say, well, you can't get stuck in the fence, that's not real. Trust me, I have video proof from last week when we were filming out at Monarch Motor Speedway. Big shout out to Race on Texas for letting us do that. I actually saw a modified go up the cushion into the wall and get hung in the fence. It looked like he was about to roll over, and all of a sudden he was hung. He was actually stuck in the fence, and they had to cut his car out of the fence. So, for everyone out there that says it can't happen, it's not physics, you can't really get hung in the fence, believe me, you can, because I've seen real life happen.
I've seen it happen on the pavement side of things too, and I've seen midgets fly about 300 feet and stuck in a fence. It certainly happens. It does, and it happens here in iRacing. It happens, I come from the land of that NR 2003, where I still do a lot of my own racing, and I get stuck in the fence there too for a 16-year-old game. So it's possible. It's not fun. It's not good on your equipment, but it certainly does happen. Looking up here up front, a new race leader has emerged here with this yellow flag, and somehow, some way, I think we both missed. The 33 of Josh Cully made a sneaky move to alongside of Brightson on that last restart. Josh Cully now finds himself on the top of the heap. Brightson back to second, Walls third, Casey Tillman fourth, in that Bill Ross Jr. number 17 truck currently running in the 5th spot. I really like the way that 17 looked here on this short burst. I think if he keeps the fenders clean on that Chevrolet, I think the Bill Ross Jr. truck, I think he may have something to say about these guys in that Walls Beard Co. company there, the sponsored rides.
Yeah, he was fastest in practice, so I definitely think he's got something for them here tonight. The question is he going to be able to hold them off for the remainder of this race? And, that's going to be the key. And we know he got this racing because, the cautions have been out. But nobody has come out, so he got this on the track during racing. We just missed it here, so there's just so many battles going on. So try to keep our eye on everything as best we can, but unfortunately you're going to miss something here and there as the green flag is set to come back again. We have one car down on the apron slow, but trying to take to the rear of the field, I do believe. And there it is, that green flag back in the air here for the Northwest Truck Series, presented by Walls Beard Co. on Full Velocity Racing Network, your source for esports racing. And Josh Coley out to a sizable lead, but they are pretty much just gaggled up behind him as we have one car down and smoking.
Yeah, definitely one smoking out there. Never a good thing here early on at Martinsville, only on lap number 18 of 200. But this is a good race going on for third here. You got Tillman up high in that Mike Wood sponsor, number 92. The 48 of Mark Walls down low. Give Walls the spot on the inside. Tillman gave it a really game run up high. It's just so tough to pass up high here at Martinsville. You really risk burning your stuff up. Probably the better part of valor there for Casey Tillman to probably roll over and let that 48 truck roll on by.
Yeah, he got really loose, almost spun it out. So I'm thinking with him, I think he may just be overdriving it just a little bit in that 92 machine, but he's definitely giving it his all. You'd rather see him give it their all than not give it anything at all. So he is definitely driving that machine to its limits, and that's what you have to do. As we go back here to Steve Steelstad, he's on the outside of, I believe that's the 88 of Travis McKinney. They are side by side currently for 6th position.
Yes, they are. McKinney's got that preferred line down low, and you can see Stelstad there just kind of pull over and ease it. Knows he wasn't in the right lane in that Spectrix XMT.com sponsored number 65 truck. Now Steve going to drop back to the 7th position. Way too early to battle for these spots. They were only on lap number 22. 200 is the time. There's a lot of laps left to make. If your truck can't stay on the bottom early, just ride it out. Feel on for the next caution flag that lurks around any corner here any time at Martinsville. Keep that thing underneath you. Come to pit road and make that one more adjustment. I think that was a great veteran move on Steve's part there to not fight that issue too much.
I definitely agree it was. As we're going to venture back to the front here to Josh Coley. He has got a sizable lead, .466. While that is not a lot, as small as this track is it's only a .49, yeah, .49, basically a .5 track. That's a sizable lead, but it's getting cut down as Sean Brightsman is starting to reel him back in once again. So we'll see, can he reel him in and get by him? Or could we see the upset here tonight? You know, Josh Coley's good. He's an excellent driver, so I'm not taking anything away from him. But early on in this season, Sean Brightsman and Mark Walls have been so good. So to see Josh Coley ahead of both of them shows that he's just as good as these guys, and he can hang with them.
Oh, he absolutely can. There's a lot of talent behind the wheel of that 33 truck, and I'm watching the way he's approaching these turns versus the way Sean Brightsman's 46 is. Josh is entering really up high and letting it ride through basically the entire corner before getting back on the accelerator, not even bringing it down low like Diamond. He's not doing anything like that at all. As I say that, he does it right there off of 2. But Sean Brightsman, the more traditional line at Martinsville, let on the brakes, let it roll to the inside, and let it just kind of ride around that curving on the inside, get back into it when the nose kind of set. So you're seeing two completely ways of these guys are charging the corner, but working equally well. It's more to the driver style and more to how these trucks are set up. And I wonder if it's Josh having that maneuverability built into the setup, or is this track a little bit tight in this corner?
Yeah, it looks to me like we went on board with both of them. It looks like the 33 of Josh Coley has a little bit better, getting out of the corner, a little more bite off the corner than the 46 does. But going into the corner, the 46 of Sean Brightsman really runs him down. But then he has that pull right there off the corner where he gets that little bit of a jump off of him. So it's going to be, like you said, different ways of getting around this track, but in the end they kind of even each other out. So it's going to be interesting to see if they do one get bumper to bumper, how it's going to play out.
And just watching the way these trucks, just appear off the exit of the corner, you can almost see Josh Coley's truck is leaning on the right rear tire going off, and I think that's a part of the way he's got that thing built, and letting it ride almost like a dirt technology, riding the cushion of the high groove off the corner. Brightsman looks like that more traditional, looks like he's riding on top of the right front, letting that thing guide the truck and maybe keeping that thing as cool as possible. So 2 completely different ways of getting around Martinsville, but 2 different, they work. You can build it into your own driving style, the way you set these things up, the way you drive it and attack it. There's 2 different ways, there's many different ways to skin a cat. Those 2 guys up front showing it, have 2 of the best absolutely doing it. Josh Coley leading Sean Brightsman as we have a little bit of race going on here back for 3rd. Mark Walls in front of Casey Tillman, but Casey's been over the back end of that thing, just looking for room down low to maybe peek around.
Yeah, and while we're doing that, we have another battle going on. As it, just like that, it goes away as we have lap cars starting to come into the picture now too. So will these lap cars play a factor in this race? Usually these guys are really good about hopping out of the way as your leaders are catching the 07 of Dana Rogers. I don't see him being too big of a factor, and it's not going to matter because caution is out anyway. As we're going to go see if we can figure out who brought out the caution. Jeff Stabnow coming down pit road, but I think it's for Gary Nichols that's turned around backwards on the track.
That's what I see, is Gary Nichols turned around in the wrong direction, which you usually don't get there on your own here at Martinsville. So Charles Wooten, the wizard at the booth here tonight for Full Velocity Racing Network. How did Gary Nichols get turned around? I'm going to assume there's probably a better chance that he probably had a little bit of help turning that way.
I think so too. As we're going to the aerial cam here, it's the best cam forward, finding out what happened. And again, we're watching the 24 as we got a glimpse of it. Looks like the 24 may have got his back bumper. There's Jeff Stabnow, the 24. He gets loose, takes it to the bottom. He was faster and then recovers from it, gets a little bit of a run. And then the 8 is right there, so he gets to his back bumper. I'm not sure they were close enough, but it may have been a little bit of net code as well. But the 8 and the 24 involved in the caution here, regardless of net code or whatever it may be, those 2 involved here in the caution. Again, Gary Nichols in the 8, the 24, Jeff Stabnow. We are under caution, though, so I think it's time we're going to step away here and pay some of the bills and get some of those sponsor ads out of the way. So we'll be right back here in just a few moments.
Corley still your race leader, followed by Tommy Fain, Bobby Miller, Gary Williams, and Shelby Williams. Gary Williams, Diamond's turn number 3. Trying to get a run on the 1B. Bobby Miller didn't have quite enough time. Meanwhile, back up front, your leader still the 61 of Aaron Corley.
Are you in the market for a quality new or used car, truck, or SUV? Head on down to Sames Ford in Corpus Christi, Texas, and browse through their inventory today. You won't be disappointed. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, as they are on the backstretch here. Lights are off on the pace car. We are currently on lap 39. You might as well say 40 because we're taking the green flag to start lap 40. Not even a quarter of the way done with this race here as quickly we'll throw it up here. We are on caution number 3. We've had 14 laps of caution here at Martinsville as the green flag comes back out, and I hopefully can keep my voice through this race. I've been fighting this, whatever it is, for the last 2 weeks now. But Mark Walls and Sean Brightsman out there. Right now, we only have 4 drivers that have not taken tires.
I was going to say, I was going back there and trying to look on my own right, and yeah, that's exactly what I was observing. I saw Caden Anderson, the number 1 truck, jump from 25th to 4th. He was already up to the top 15, was having a really good run, but up to the 4th spot, I don't have all those widow. I guess I do. I don't know how to use them. The way they check pit road, but say that on parking lot, the back stretch, 1 truck is around, 1 truck upside down. I don't know if he landed on his roof or not, but there was one definitely airborne. We got a parking lot here in the back stretch. I think it happened right where the 1 truck of Caden Armstrong was. He didn't have tires on that thing, and I think worn tires probably was not a good idea for a guy that was running out there in the back half of the top 15 with playing a little bit of gamble. Gamble certainly did not pay off.
I'm with you, and that was the 65 of Steve Silstad that went for a tumble. Let's go back and take a look. We're going to have to go back a little bit further here on the restart. We're going to go to the aerial cam once again, as this is the best view for this. And you're watching the 1 just on the edge of your screen, as I believe he gets a little loose. He may have help. We'll see. He's going to go off your screen just a bit. And right there, no, it looks like he just does break loose. Maybe some net code there, but breaks loose, saves it. And there, the 17 tags him after he gets loose. And major net code between the 1 and the 65 is Steve Silstad. Going to be shaken up after that, so we'll see as he is on pit road, it looks like here. So let's go back to live and go up to our leader. Let's pull Steve Silstad and see if he has been released from that care center yet. Give us just a moment here. Steve Silstad, you got a copy?
Hey, what's going on there, Charles?
Well, good news is Radio Communications are still working with the 65. We're wondering if they have released you from that care center.
Oh man, barely. I was pretty dizzy there for a minute.
Definitely not what you wanted to hear, but you do have a fast repairs to see you're back out on the track. So a little bit of a tumble there. It looked like some net codes. So give us a rundown there of what happened.
I'm not even sure who it was. It looked like a car ahead of me a couple of spots got loose, and hit the inside wall, and I was ducking to the inside, trying to dodge it, tried to go to the outside, and then chaos ensued.
It did indeed. And before we go live, we got at least 2 more laps here. We're going to hand it over to Todd. Todd, you got Todd. I got Todd on the brain here. Wow. Phil. Phil, do you have any questions for Steve here tonight?
I got to ask you, how do you like your martini? Are you shaking or stirred after a hit like that? Because they say you can't get upside down and tumble at Martinsville. I think you just proved them wrong right there, but I hope that truck is okay. That was quite the ride.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. But yeah, I think I don't know. We'll try and recover here and see what we can do.
A lot of laps left. We've got better than 150 laps of racing still to go. Are you going to try to drive that thing straight up through the field, or are you going to be patient and pick these things off now? And I think we kind of see aggression is out there tonight. The trucks, as this racetrack is really hot and warm, it's going to get loose and greasy out there. Are you going to just be patient and keep that thing under you and risk not being tore up like that anymore?
I'm not sure yet. I mean, I'll probably hang back for a few laps, but we'll be definitely pinning it to win it.
Well, Steve, you're a great egg.
10 or 15.
You're a good egg for talking to us there in the cockpit after a hit like that. But I think we're back to the green, Charles. So I think we should let him concentrate on driving, because I see back there we're almost 3 wide here at Martinsville. That is never a good idea.
No, it is never a good idea as we get him back down there so he can communicate with his team. And again, 3 wide, never going to work out here. They kind of get it sorted out and they go back to 2 wide. Josh Coley, his teammate, though, sitting in 4th place right now, and he is back on the outside again, and that is a bad spot to be right now, as he's going to do what I think he's going to do here anyway, and let the 88 by. There's no need to battle him this early in the race. We're just now going to be a quarter of the way done with this race here next time by. So actually 2 times by. When we complete lap 50, we'll be there. But go a little further back in this field, back to about 21st. Look at this gaggle of cars back here.
It's nutty. It's just a lot of trucks out there. And there was somebody that ran out of space because somebody got squeezed out there. One truck, I think, maybe around, because we're back under yellow here, just at the approach of lap number 50 going up to the board. I believe it says caution flag number 5 of the night. So pretty safe to say I don't have to buy drinks from these guys anymore. At what caution of the night, Charles, do we start charging these guys a drink tab?
I'm thinking right about now they should be buying us some drinks here. Like I said earlier, I could go for a nice, anything here. We're trying to figure out exactly where this caution started, and I'm thinking it may have been James Vining around the 333 car. Let's go back here. We're going to go to the aerial view here and watch the 333 and see if that is where all of this started. Here for this, I believe, 4th or 5th caution. Again, I'm not 100% sure. Oh, right there, yes, the 58 Paulson gets to his back bumper. And once again, we have a parking lot on I believe that's the front stretch there. It is indeed front stretch. And parking lots are never a good thing on a racetrack.
No, but it's tough to do. And I can hear the driver communication here through race control. Somebody not quite so happy. I think that was a 333 that might have been stuck in the middle of the racetrack, and it really mocked up the field because Josh Cully almost T-boned him when he backed up out there. So a little bit of admonishment coming there from race control about the etiquette of being stuck there and letting the field go by. With a big field of 28 we had out here to start this evening, being stuck in the wrong direction is one thing, and you panic as a driver because you don't want to give up any more time than you already have. And the problem with that is, in a place like this, you run the risk of somebody piling in behind you. I'm not sure there's really a right or wrong way about it, but James Vining stuck the wrong way. It's so tough to get it righted back up here, especially when the trucks are all strung out. Yeah, it definitely is, and they are very strict on etiquette here and how this race, what these drivers can and cannot say over the radios here, as any any respectable league would be. And for the most part, we've been doing this series here for I think at least 3-4 seasons. It seems like it's been a long time. And we've really never seen a whole lot here. It seems like in the last season, in this season, we've really started seeing tempers flare up a little bit. As just, I believe, 2 weeks ago, we actually had the first time ever that I can recall anyway, to have a driver disqualified from a race. So, due to intentional wrecking. So, it goes to show you that even on sim sports here, or esport racing, whatever you want to call it, tempers can get flared. And while there's no money on the line as far as repair for your car, there's still a pride issue. And when there's pride on the line, there's going to be tempers. There's pride in race car driving in esports. There is pride and anger that goes through broadcasting in esports. I don't care who you are. Tempers flare anywhere, and you come to a short track, and let's face it, It's warm here today in Martinsville. Track is hot. It is slick. It is greasy. You got to think these guys in the cockpits of these trucks are roasting. They've already put 55 laps in their books. They still have 145 left to go. I hope they've got their cold water in it, because we're going back to green flag racing. It goes back in the air, and you look back up there and you find Sean Brightsman and Mark Walls back on the front row as they go to green. And look at that, almost a team formation. Walls tries to tuck in behind the 48, but look at third place truck right there. That number 92 of Casey Tillman almost pulls it out so fast, my friend. He almost circled Mark on the inside. Mark was able to slam the door. He'll hold on a second there down the backstretch.
Yeah, I'm with Christy Ottenbacher. I believe that is the wife of John Ottenbacher. Correct me if I'm wrong, Christy, but I believe that is correct. I'm with her. She's comments in chat. Really, guys, we're going to be up all night. So, unfortunately, if the cautions continue, we will be up here all night. Of course, dedicated to the series. I will be here till the race is over, but regardless, it'll actually be into the morning for some of us here on the Central and the East Coast. On the Pacific Coast, not so late for them, but then again, I work from home. I don't have to get up at any time, so why not? Let's do it. Here's Josh Coley and Casey Tillman duking it out here side by side.
They are. Put Cully now up to a third spot. I'm going to go back there. I don't have that chat open. I may have to open it here until the next caution flag, because we're going to be up here all night. Some of us are out here in the Northeast. I want to know what time zone you may be in, because some of us, it's already past the night here. It's 12:30, and if we're here all night, you're telling I may be here when the sun comes up in the morning.
Yeah, if that's the case, one of these cautions, we may have to step aside as there's another one and get some omelets made here. As it's going to be the 58 of Stephen Paulson bringing out this caution. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened to that number 58 machine. As we're taking a look here, he comes out of the corner and, he hits the berm and just kind of breaks loose there. And I'm surprised that brought out a caution, but indeed it did. Oh, no, there's the caution. He completely spins it around the next corner. So the caution actually coming out for him completely spinning it. Not where we thought he did. But regardless, Stephen Paulson in the 58 bringing out the caution here, and that is caution number 6 for 26 laps. Good news, we have completed 61 laps, so we're getting closer to the halfway point.
Crawling to the halfway point here on lap number 62, and I believe this is yellow 6 or 7 here. So it's Martinsville. I think this is kind of what we kind of can predict here in a short track where you said 3 cautions or less. I was pretty confident of that. But we're looking here at the guys that were involved in wrecks, that maybe had ill handling trucks early. We started 27, Charles. How many left in the lead lap? A precious 15. I believe John Ottenbacher here currently running 50. I think Steve Stelstad, he may get a waiver on Lucky Dog, so maybe put 16 back to the lead lap, or maybe it would be John this time. I think John, when I look, is 1 lap down. So we had a lot of trucks start on the lead lap, 27 of them. But as this race whittles on here, not even quite to halfway, we already put almost half the field 1 lap down. And I wonder if it's a product of this, the heavy racing we've seen in some of the wrecks, or maybe some of these guys just have really ill-handling trucks.
Yeah, I think it's just ill handling. As we talked to Jeff Stabenow prior to this going live, the race going live when we were in the pre-show, and he talked about they were fighting the hot track here. It's back to 101 degrees already, so this track is just not working with their setups here. And I will say they put a lot of time in these. Come on here, just about any day you'll see somebody in here practicing. Then they have their official league practice on a Saturday night, where everyone gets out here and practice. So they put a lot of time in these, and then this, you come in here and the sun's out, it's totally different, and it just completely screws your setup all up, and you're basically from the ground up all over again.
Yeah, it certainly is. Maybe I got to reevaluate my racing program here, because I'm not doing so good. And granted, I race a lot of fixed setup stuff, but these guys practice for hours and hours. I guess they say practice makes perfect. I guess that's why I'm more comfortable here with a microphone on my head versus being out there behind the wheel of one of these things, because these guys do spend an awful lot of time out there, and I give them all the credit in the world, because I'm not a guy who can sit up here. I give up on any project for about 20 minutes. So going out there to tweak a setup, not even a race conditions, kudos, fellas. You're a lot better than I am. But pace car is in. We're going back to green flag racing, and right where we left it here, Sean Brights and Mark Walsh in the front row. They're going to fall right back into single file there in turn number 1 and 2. But the race is on for third with Tillman to the outside of Cully as they drag race down the backstretch for third.
Yeah, they are drag racing here, and to the point, definitely practice makes perfect. That's why I am behind the mic, mostly getting where I like being behind the camera more, as we got them still battling. Apparently, I must be doing something right behind the camera because they keep sending me out to the real racetrack on Friday nights for Race on Texas. So we got contact in the back, and I'm not sure who that is, but the caution is going to come out, and that's going to be for the 2. That brings it out of James Thurston, bringing out the caution here. Got a little squirrely, so let's go back and take a look one more time, as I believe he got a little squirrely and then collected somebody else with it.
Curious as I'm trying to find it here as well, but I know James Thurston was just one of the guys in the most previous yellow had come in and put 4 tires on that thing, and I wonder if the tires weren't warm yet, and that could have attributed to him getting loose or whatever, but I know he was definitely involved. But the question is, Charles, did he have help?
Yeah, it looks like he did. And watching that again, we're going back to that replay. We're going to go back to the aerial cam. Him and the 72 make contact together, as you'll see coming up here in just a moment. Coming out of the corner, right there, they make a little contact together. He comes back up and gets Steve Silstad once again, and around goes the 2, and then Gerald Heffley in the 8. Nowhere to go as he gets right into his nose. Got a T-bones in there, and that will bring out the caution once again for our 7th caution of the night. So we are going to go ahead and step away here for a quick commercial break. We will be right back. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Pace car is diving back off, and the course indicates going racing again, boys. Here on lap 73 is what will be when they get to the line. About 28 laps to the halfway point. Actually, there it is. Yep, 28 laps to the halfway point. I don't think we're out of the woods of a caution. I think we're going to see at least maybe 1 or 2 more before we get to the halfway point. The question is, how many more will we see before we get to there, as these guys are really duking it out here. And I wouldn't even say it's aggressive, just stuff happening.
Yeah, it's not aggression at all. It's Martinsville. It's going to be tight. I don't care how much of a gentleman you are behind the wheel, or how much of a gentleman the guy beside you is. I mean, it's tight quarters. You're both going down to the corner at well over 100 miles per hour. You're jamming on the brakes to under about maybe 65 to 70, hoping it'll turn down there, and it's only a matter of physics. You're probably going to make some contact with that guy next to you. Maybe your best friend in the world. I talked to my brother Todd. I raced with Todd for a long time, done this with Todd a long time. We bounce off each other all the time, and sometimes you get a little bent feelings about it, but hey, It's short track racing at its finest. We do it here night after night, and these guys are doing it better than most of them can do out there, because I see a battle there. I see 4 different battles side by side here in the opening laps of the restart. So let's find one and let's talk about it, because they are sprinkled all over the back part of the top 10.
Yeah, I'm watching the 1 and the 27 right now of A.J. Williamson and Caden Anderson. It looked like that one may sort itself out, so we're going to jump to the 1 slightly ahead of them. And actually, those guys have kind of settled out. So let's go back further. Let's go to about, I believe that's the 91 and the 72, and now they've sorted it out here a little bit too.
I found the 91 and the 07. They were pretty much locked in a tandem there for a second. That's kind of sorted itself out. So we're trying to find something to show you, but these guys are, I think, mindful at this point of, hey guys, we've had 7 yellows. Let's calm down. Let's, get in line. Let's log some laps. Let's feel out what our setups are doing. And that's what good leagues will do. If we all have nights like this where it seems like we can't get out of each other's way, we can't get out of our own way. So I wouldn't be surprised right now, the veterans these guys are, if they just kind of log laps and ride, and well, maybe not, because we have our 8th yellow flag of the night now, just 1 lap shy of lap number 80. And with guys in a lead lap or not in a lead lap, it's getting harder for me to find these things. So what do you see down there? Who's the caution?
We got the 72 of BJ Tidrick going around here. The question is, does he have help, or was it self-inflicted wound? Well, we're about to find out. And it's self-inflicted. He just drives it in a little hot. Ooh, and then Steven Paulson in the 58. Nowhere to go. Just basically just pounds him like the Hulk, smashing something right now. Again, just nowhere to go, and just I wouldn't say T-boned him, but well, he elbowed him, because that was more like a L-shaped hit as he hit him right in the front of the car. And that is going to leave the 72 of BJ Tidrick smoking here as he has to come down pit road as we're under caution once again.
Yeah, and that's a guy who put a really good qualifying run on. BJ Tidrick started up in the top 10, but it's been anything other than a top 10 run for that 72 truck. Currently running 29 laps down, still out there trying to make laps and involved in yet another Frankisville 72 truck. So you got to give him an attaboy for just keeping on to gain points out there. But at some point, you're probably going to get so gosh darn frustrated if you're that far behind and so causing wrecks where, hey, maybe it's not my night. And maybe it's just to put this thing in the trailer and maybe go up there and on top of the truck and watch this thing. I don't know. We'll see what BJ decides to do. But he has had a rough night from the 9th spot in the starting order to now running 26, now 30 laps behind. That's a long night. We're not even halfway here yet.
Yeah, and I hate to say this, I really do, but we'll see here if Caden Anderson, Bruce Weaver, also don't forget John Ottenbacher. He's not too bad. I think he'll be fine. Gerald Heffley a little bit easier, but you got Bruce Weaver 29 laps on his tires, Caden Anderson 40 laps on a set of tires here. While we do know they can go quite a few on a set of tires, how are those 40-lap tires going to hold up compared to the rest? Yes, some of that was under caution, so it's not going to be a huge hit, but still 40-lap tires versus 2-lap tires. Hopefully those tires don't spin. If we see those tires spin, plus with 30 laps behind them and 20 and 14 behind them, we very well could possibly see a stack up and take out a lot of cars here at the front of this race.
Absolutely. But you want to look at what Martinsville looks like here in the first 80 laps, 8 cautions. Look no further. Look at that wicked chassis, number 89 of John Ottenbacher. Look at the back end of that thing. You think that looks like something, Charles, that has raced here at Martinsville only not even one half of the way in, because that back end is all pushed in.
It definitely is pushed in here, as he's got the 46 behind him of Sean Brightsman, so we'll go there to the roll bar camera for him so he can get a good shot of it. And it looks like Wall's Beetle, you can't even read it, saying Wall's Beard Co. on the back bumper of that thing anymore. We'll go back to the main cameras. The green flag is getting ready to come back out once again. And the one car of Caden Anderson gets a nice jump there. That's really what he needed. He needed to get a decent jump, as we got a car going around in the back. And I believe that is going to be the 17 of Bill Ross Jr. Caution is out. Once again, we didn't even complete the lap. Let's go back and take a look.
I'm not sure we even completed the corner there, but Bill Ross was a guy that was up in the top 10, was up there minding his business, minding his P's and Q's, and I'm sure he got shuffled out of line or whatever the heck happened, but either way, Bill Ross Jr. from up in the top 10 now to the outhouse here now, going to have to run back to the back part of the top 20. What happened to the 17?
Yeah, and interesting enough here that it just spun out all by himself. He didn't have any help, and he had 4-lap old tires. He had come down pit road, so those tires were not very old. So to go around like that all by himself, I'm wondering if he may have missed a gear.
Very much possible. That is really easy to do here at Martinsville. It certainly is. And, keep in mind, I mean, even with the 4-lap old tires on there, which probably had not even half a lap of heat cycle on them, so they're pretty much still new. Warm racetrack, cold tires, they don't always match up right away out there. You usually know at a good lap and a half at speed to put these things with a little bit of sink in them. So it could have been missing a gear. It could have been just a hole. The tire wasn't yet up to temperature, and they start these things low on air pressure with new tires. So you never know. Maybe it was a little too light and just a handful to drive at that point. Yeah,
just to kind of give you an example of what a hot racetrack and a cold tires would be like. Imagine getting, concrete at 110 degrees, or even right now, even 102 degrees, and sticking an ice cube on it. It does not react very well. And that, like you said, could be a possibility, just not acting well, low tire pressures. They hadn't had a chance to build back up, and around he goes. And what this does do, however, is our leader, Caden Anderson, still has not come down pit road, and now he has even more laps on those tires, and hey, he has to do another restart. So this could get very interesting for him to see how this one goes. Every restart is potentially a bad one, or a chance where he could spin the tires.
Also keep in mind there, maybe 40 plus laps on those tires, but how many of those have been put under green? You got to think he's had one little cycle of a couple of laps on there, so they're probably up to temperature. They're going to cool off a little bit under yellow. They still make stick quite as good. So, I don't think it's a bad call at this point. If we get a really long extended green flag run, say about 20 plus laps, I think Jackson will see Caden Anderson's tires really come back and bite him in the butt. But right now, with this little short burst, and at some point we're not even getting 2 laps where we see the yellow hanky come back out. So I think Caden Anderson, not a bad call at this juncture out there on 40 plus lap tires. Go out there and lead laps because, as we said, clean air and clean racetrack, it's a good thing here at Martinsville because we've seen here all night long. You get stuck mid-pack, you can get caught up in somebody else's mess and go out there and maybe look like John Ottenbacher's truck in that 89 because it's running third, but it looks like it's already been through a war, and we're still 10 laps shy of halfway.
Yeah, and I will keep this in mind for all the fans out there watching. 120 laps was the fuel window. It was going to be a 1-lap stop here, so as we're getting cars going away. Some of these guys pitted 10 laps ago, so like Sean Bryceman 10 laps ago, he should be good on fuel.
And I think it's going to dictate if we put a green flag run together or not, if he comes back to pit road. So Martinsville is becoming a track, believe it or not, where you almost run it like a road race because once you have fuel window opens to make it usually a good idea. As they come off turn number 4, pace car is in. We go back to green flag racing with Caden Anderson going to lead the field here through turns number 1 and 2 with Bruce Lee Weaver, number 40 there, in for second. There's a good side-by-side battle for third between teammates. Brightson to the top side of Ottenbacher, put Sean Brightson up to third, and Josh Cully, he may follow suit. Almost 3 wide this time as exit turn 4.
Yeah, he almost made contact with the 89 of John Ottenbacher. They are side-by-side, banging doors here as they go around the corner here at Martinsville. And it's going to be Josh Cully gets it to 40. Is Bruce Weaver. He is pulling down to pit road. He is something wrong there or what, but he is calling it either a night or just at least coming down pit road. We'll see. Oh, and he spins it out on pit road. Caution is out, but obviously that's not what it's for. It's going to be Bill Ross Jr. that makes a parking lot on the front stretch here once again.
That is caution flag. I believe this is number 9 here. And we're still 6 laps shy of halfway here. But yeah, I think the 40 had a penalty in to come down to pit road and serve. I think that's why we saw him come down pit side there in that 40 machine. But order yellow once again. I don't believe it was on the 40 spinning on pit road. I think you may have found something a little bit better than that.
Yeah, Bill Ross Jr., I believe. Actually, that is after the fact here. Let's go back here and see if we can't figure out what this was for. We're going to go back again here maybe go a little bit further back here. We've got to figure out what is going on here, as we're going to go a little further back and figure out what happened. I'm not exactly sure where all this went down, but a lot of contact being made further back in this field, as we're still trying to figure out exactly what indeed happened. We'll see. We're watching somewhere around the 27 of A.J. Williamson. I don't think he's involved in this, though. There's the 40 going down pit road, and it happened right after this, so if we can diagnose. Oh, there's the 03. It is with the 03. Goes around, collects the 27, the 07, the 65, and then it looks like the 2, trying to avoid it all, ends up collecting the 17. So yeah, just a ton of cars getting collected in this one. That's about 7 cars that were involved in that caution.
Yeah, that was a lot with that. That's what we're talking about. That's why I think a guy like Caden Anderson is playing the hand he is playing, because you don't want to be back there. Caden was already back there on older tires, got caught in a wreck back there. So I think he's already living the tale here. So he may have something to say in the second half of this race. But you know who may be the geniuses right now? Guys like Sean Brightsman, Josh Cully, Travis McKinney, Mark Walls. Those guys have all come to pit road here about 12 or 15 laps ago under caution. I think that's where the fuel window is going to open for these guys. And we're not putting much burn on these tires here. We're not even halfway home yet. So if we don't get a long extended run, these guys may be in the catbird seat, whatever the heck a catbird is. But they may be in that proverbial really good position to put themselves to run the second half of this race, not yet have to go to pit road, and that may be the key here, to stay out and avoid the carnage of being back in those fields and get caught up in a wreck. I'm
with you. As the 10th caution is out, we're on lap 90. Well, let's make it 99. Right as they come to the line right there, we have had 50 laps under caution here tonight. So over half this race has been under caution so far. These guys would really like to get some green flag racing. I'm sure if race control hasn't said it, they're probably thinking it at this point, saying, come on guys, let's get some green flag runs. Again, it's Martinsville. This is not the ordinary. This is the extraordinary here tonight. To see this many cautions is very unheard of for this league. The green flag is back out here for the Northwest Truck Series, presented by Walls Beard Co. on Full Velocity Racing Network, your source for esports racing, as it's side by side once again for second and for fourth.
Yeah, sure is. Josh Cully to the inside of Sean Brightsman. May pick up that spot. Almost got to the left rear of the one truck of Caden Armstrong, or Anderson, who pulls up now to the high side. You can see the older tires already, how they're paying off there. Josh Cully's 33 down to the low side. By the time they exit the corner here, down off of turn number 4 down the front stretch, Josh Cully is going to be awarded the race lead here once they hit turn 3.
He is indeed. The one's not giving up that a fight, but again, with 40 lap tires, or actually 60 lap tires versus 21, it's like bringing a rubber knife to a gun show. There's just no chance he has. As there goes the 46 to Sean Brightsman into the inside wall. No caution comes out as he keeps it going in the right direction, but got a little loose there, and that's going to cost him about 7 positions on the track.
And what that is right there, Charles, as we talked about way in the pre-race show, when these guys were in practice, I was observing how loose these things looked. And you put somebody alongside, like Sean was underneath Arcada there, you know Sean got a faster truck, but he doesn't have the benefit of letting that thing sweep all the way up to the outside wall, has to hold it down, had to turn the wheel a little bit more. You see that thing get really loose. That was a hell of a save on the 46 right there, because that thing was really even.
Oh, and speaking of not saving, I think he had some help there. It's the 88 of Travis McKinney. He had a little help there, I do believe, and put him in the outside wall, but I say he didn't save it. He technically did, as he keeps it pretty much off the inside wall, did collect the outside wall, but we stay going green here as we're on lap 105 of 200. We are officially past the halfway point here for this race.
Absolutely right, and I think McKinney may have got a little bump there for the 48 of Mark Walls. I think it was just a little disagreement of space there, but Mark now up to the 3rd spot. He looks up front, he sees a guy like Josh Cully who's starting to pull away. Josh now up to a 1.4 second advantage, which at Martinsville is a ton over Cade Anderson. Mark Walls in for third, Casey Tillman fourth, and John Odenbacher your top five. Sixth, we find Ryan Baines with Sean Brightsman now back to seventh. Travis McKinney running eighth, Bill Ross Jr. ninth, and Dana Rogers the 07. Having a solid night, had a bad qualifying effort, but now up there in the top 10. That's a product of him and Gary Nichols. He started in the back as well. Gary back there in the 8, running 11th. Guys who started in the back, but keeping their stuff clean. You do that at Martinsville, Charles. More times than not, you're going to end up with a really good finish as we have a good race going on now for second. Anderson under fire from Mark Walls there off the 2.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to be too much longer unless we get a caution. Those 66 lap old tires versus 27 lap tires, that is not going to be much of a challenge here. I think Mark Walls will be able to get by sooner or later, but I really am, I think he'll get by, but I'm really shocked at how long Caden Anderson in that one is able to hold off those fresher tires of Mark Walls, especially because Mark Walls is so fast usually anyway, and then you couple that with fresher tires. He's doing the one bang-up job of holding off Mark Walls for second place.
Well, he really, really is, but I think it really is. We talk about those 40-lap old tires there, but I think he only had one really true heat cycle on him, as I don't think we did more than scuffle for a couple of restarts. So those things probably are still, decent. Not better than the 48 truck, but it shows the quality of a guy like Mark Walls, as fast as he is. It's really tough to pass here, especially if a guy like Cade Anderson is going to hit his marks and hold the way he does. But Charles, we talk about a little bit of a green flag run. Well, for the 11th time this race is going to be slowed once again at the lap 111. Yellow flag coming back out to the speedway, and I see one truck on the inside wall stuck down there, pointed almost the wrong way. How did he get there?
As we're finding out now, we're watching the replay. It's the 88. Oh, and just gets loose all by himself. He was on the inside of the 46 of Mark Walls. Mark Walls. Wow, I cannot speak today. The 46 of Sean Brightsman. They were racing side by side, and just gets it loose, spins it around, puts it into the inside wall, nose first. And that will bring out the caution once again here for the 11th time. 51 laps completed under caution. We are going to go ahead and step away for a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Say command.
What is the weather like in LA?
The weather is clear in LA.
What is the weather like in New York?
The weather is rain in New York.
Use flow mode.
Low.
Say hello, TT.
Hello, TT.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Pace car is diving off, as we are getting ready to start lap 1:17. We're getting towards the end, possibly. We'll see as green flag is back out. These guys still duking it out here. You got the 48 of Mark Walls and Casey Tillman in the 92. They're side by side, and I already see people in the wall, but we keep going green.
Yeah, we do, and what a move by Casey Tillman, 92 truck. It's a straight-up fight we got going on here at Martinsville. Casey from the high side of the restart, banged doors at Mark Walls and slammed the door shut, and that takes some goal to put a guy like Mark Walls back there in spot the way Casey did. That 92 truck is really fast, and he just made a really aggressive move from the outside lane. He's now going to take the battle of the one truck and race for second as Josh Cully now continues to pull away just like he did on that last little green flag run we just saw.
Yeah, he is, I honestly think the car to beat here. Sean Brightsman, I think, may have been the truck to beat here early on in this race. I just don't know if he is now. It doesn't seem like his truck is handling the way he wants it to. Again, I could be wrong, but it seems like that. Plus, he's stuck back in traffic back in 12th place. He is on the lead lap, but James Thurston behind him, the last car on the lead lap. He's not far from going a lap down as far as, drivers, but pretty far on the track itself. But being back here stuck in all of this traffic, that is where problems seem to rear its ugly head. So this is the last place he wants to be right about now.
I completely agree. I got to say, I think the three best handling trucks are obviously the Race Leader 33. That thing looks like it's handling great. I think the 92 is looking good. I think the one truck is really good because I think even on older tires, that one really has a good grasp of the racetrack. But the guy who's really got my attention, the 13 of Ryan Mings. Really solid, running up there in the 5th spot. Haven't talked about Ryan all night long, so let's give him some love. That thing looks to be handling just right. Not aggressive on it, staying out of the carnage, minding his P's and Q's, hitting his line, keeping it straight. I think Ryan Mings is a really, really good, solid truck right now. And look at the fenders are clean. It looks like he's not hustling it through the corners at all. Keep an eye on that 13 truck. He may be a player with all this thing is done.
I personally think you're just picking him because he has donuts on the side of his car. But
that too.
going just ahead of him, you have Anderson, Tillman, and Walls. That's a battle for second place right now. They are just bumper to bumper. Just to give you an idea, let's go to Mark Walls and let's go on board with him here for a minute. And you can see just how close these guys are together as a Mark Walls all over Tillman's back bumper. And then every once in a while when he sneaks out, you can see Anderson in front of them. But you see Coley just starting to pull further and further away from these guys. But right there, they are just really bumper to bumper. Mark Walls trying to find some way by them.
He absolutely is, and he's doing all he can do, and Casey Tillman doing a great job. But how about the job the one truck is doing? Probably has the oldest tires out there of all these guys out there running and somehow holding on to the second spot, and that thing is held onto the bottom. Kane Anderson is doing one whale of a job there to hold on to second because he's got some really good fast trucks behind him. Great call tonight by the one team. That's a really impressive job. From 25th starting position now up to second and holding on older tires. That's a feel-good story right there.
Yeah, and I want to point out here with Caden Anderson while we're watching this battle here, his fastest lap in this race was a 19.950. His last lap was a 20.009. So with 85, making 86 lap tires on there, whether they're green or yellow, he really hasn't fallen off a whole lot.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see that truck struggling to handle it all. It's really easy on the brakes. Lets it roll into the corner. It rolls the bottom, doesn't force the throttle pedal back down, gets easing into it off the corner, and it comes out and it carries a good rate of speed. And it really doesn't feel like he's, over maneuvering that truck too much. He may have a good deal of tire left on that thing. The question I have now, 80 plus lap old tires, he's got to be running there probably about 30 plus laps of fuel left because you said 120 was a fuel window. If this thing stays green the way it may right now, that may bite him in the butt there as the great run he's having may go up in smoke as he's going to have to probably come in for gas, which I'm not sure if Josh Cully is that close. I don't know if you have a widget out there to tell us what lap did Josh Cully last on the pit road on.
Josh Coley was last on pit road, 49, right there, making it 50 laps ago. So he was on pit road 50 laps ago where he took fuel and tires. So
that's in the window.
That is in the window, so he should be good. as he's going to get by the 03. Of course, the 03 of Daniel Masters, currently 31 laps down. And it looks like, just to give a quick update so far, Steve Silstad, Bruce Weaver, William Fletcher, Josh Cushman, Ray Fournier, and Brian Payne officially out of this race. They have retired. On pit road here at the moment is going to be A.J. Williamson, Steven Paulson, and Jeff Stabnow. Those guys sitting on pit road here at the moment, trying to get some repairs done.
Yeah, and I think Jeff Snyder's. I think he's just kind of sitting there, just watching it all happen in the cockpit of that thing, because I don't see them guys working up with the Jeff's 24 truck at all. So I think he's content down there, nearly 100 laps down. I think I think he's kind of acting in the admin role right now from in the cockpit. So maybe a little bit easier for him. But Charles, we probably have our best green flag run of the night going on. Next time by, lap 135 going to go on the board, and Josh Cully up there with the lead, 1.695 seconds over Caden Anderson. Casey Tillman there for third still. Mark Wall is over the back there running fourth, and Ryan Baines a little bit falling off the pace of the top four, but he's having a good solid run there in fifth. John Onnenbacher, he's held on good for sixth. Scott Hutchison, Hutch having a great night tonight. The 91 there up in seventh. Sean Brightsman has worked his way back to the restart. He's now up to the top 10 running eighth. Bill Ross Jr. back up to the top 10 in ninth, and Gary Nichols having a good solid night in truck. Gary currently running in our top 10, but now 66 laps remaining here in Martinsville's contact between the 48 and the 92. Tillman up the hill, we somehow keep it clean, but
and we're not anymore. Caution
I'm not sure, that may have been a retaliating bump there, because Martin moved him out of the way. There may be a whole story to tell here with this caution there, Charles.
Well, look now is after the caution comes out, then the 48 and his own teammate John Ottenbacher getting collected together. Let's go to the aerial view here, and let's take one more look. We're going to have to go back a little bit more to see this one. Let's go back again here to, if we can find them here anyway. We're going to miss it if we don't find them. There we go. So let's go to the aerial view here. As you're watching the 92 and the 48, the 48 of Mark Walls behind the 92 right now of Casey Tillman, and we're going to see exactly what happened. And a little bump there. He gets him sideways. He does stop and let him by, but then hits him again. And that is definitely questionable there to see what happened as the 62 and the 89 come and hit the 48 as well. Let's see if we can't get one more look at this here for Mark Walls and Casey Tillman. There's got to be a view we can watch it from here that we can get a good view of it. So there's the initial one. There's the second hit. You may be right. That may have been a little bit of a... I'm not happy with that contact kind of move.
It looked a little bit, you said questionable. I call it extracurricular. I'm not sure if it was nicey nice. I think, Tillman may have been a little bit upset because I think he may have felt Mark moved him out of the way, which, if I'm Casey, I may feel that way myself. But, yeah, definitely their contact after the fact, because that second hit there almost seemed a bit unavoidable, and that tears up a really good truck, the 48 of Mark Walls. And we talk about all the time, Todd and I do, about the restrictor plate tracks of Daytona and Talladega as being the great equalizer, but we don't think about a place like Martinsville that is really a true wild card of the entire season, because a guy like Mark Walls, we know he's fast. You may just get caught up in something there in traffic, whatever else. Or Sean Brightsman, another guy having an off night that got stuck back there. This is a racetrack and a race. This is a true wild card, because it's kind of like a restrictor plate race. Your fate a lot of times falls in somebody else's hands.
It definitely does. We'll see here. We got a request here. Let's go back and see if we can get the 92 real fast. We'll find out where he is on the track. There he is right there. We'll do this quickly here if we can anyway. We'll try to get back to when it was a green flag racing anyway. As that is, go back just a little bit here. Let's go to the 92. Again, we're going to chase him down. We're going to go to the cockpit view of the 92, as that's what we requested. Let's take a look at that. We didn't think about looking at the cockpit view as we are watching on board with him real fast before we go racing again. And we'll see what happened here. You're riding on board, of course, with Casey Tillman. That's where he gets a bump right there. He's about to get another bump. And it's still questionable, up for debate there. I'm wondering if they may have got a little bit of net code, possibly. You just don't know, but what we do know is the green flag is back out, and Josh Coley is still leading this race.
Yeah, but if there's something you want to go back and look at right on the restart, something would have missed the 48. I'm not sure he missed the gear or something broke, but he hit the gas and that thing all of a sudden steered itself right to the inside wall right on the restart. Mark Walls was, up there in the top 5, now currently running 6th, and I'm not exactly sure what happened to the 48 on the restart, but he was stuck down low and he lost a couple of positions here, so it might be something worth noting to look back and see what kind of may have gone wrong for Mark on the restart.
And we will bookmark that if we get a chance to go back and look at it here. Looks like we got the 17 a little slow onto the track here. He is still under power, but looks like the 91 of Scott Hutchinson was able to get by him very quickly. So, interesting there. Something's happening to the 17 here.
Yeah, it does not sound good at all for Bill Ross. It looks like he may be down at least a cylinder on that thing. It does not sound good coming by our vantage point here. So, Bill Ross Jr., you can make this race on 7 cylinders. I mean, you put a lot of R's through the engine. You may not have a little straightaway speed, but let's face it, you'll make a lot of your speed here at Martinsville through the corner. The better you can pick up the throttle, the faster you'll get on it. So it may not be a detriment. It's going to kill the top end speed at the end of the straightaway where guys will chase them down, but it's not detrimental to Bill Ross finishing the race, but he may not have the full song of chasing these guys down. So we'll have to wait and see. But you know what I'm looking at right now? I'm back up there looking at the 13, running 3rd. He is all in the back bumper of the 1, who is all in the back of the 33. Top 3, they are stuck right together here. We're running a lap, Charles. We're 2 revolutions away from being 3/4 of the way home. Lap 150 is coming.
It is indeed, and this is the closest anybody has been to Josh Coley here tonight. And I want to point out, Josh Coley, 68 laps. Keaton Anderson, 12. He finally came down pit road, so he's good on fuel. Everybody should be good on fuel here for the remainder of this race. And now look how good that 1 is. He was already looking really good, even with that little damage he has. And now look at him up there just beating the doors off and beating the back fender off that 33. I have a feeling we may have a new leader here in the next couple of laps.
We'll have to wait and see, because Josh has really not been challenged like this. We saw Sean Brightsman do it early on, but Josh has really, for the most part, really been comfortable up front, and this is probably the best challenge he has had in well over 50 laps here. The 1 truck of Caden Armstrong, who has really had the run of the night. He qualified 25th, put it up there with some track position, with some strategy, stayed out, made that play off, now running the fresh tires and fuel in that 2nd spot. The best challenge on 33 makes a little bit of contact with the rear. You see Josh getting a little bit on shape, sews up Caden's run a little bit. That may open the door for Ryan Minks to make a run, who's going to peek to the outside. Not sure it's the right way around him right now.
It definitely has. And while you're watching this battle here, we do want to remind everyone, of course, that we haven't yet. If you are new to the Facebook, make sure you hit that like button on the page itself, and of course the like button on the race. If you're on the YouTube side of things, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. It looks like we had a few people that don't like the race, so all I can say to that is I hope they've cleared chat for the rest of us so we can keep on chatting here and having a good time. Ryan Mage, your guy, still in 3rd place. It's kind of shuffled out here a little bit for those guys. So we got some lap cars coming in to the picture, so things are really getting spread out now.
It really is, and you really look about it, Charles, there's only 9 trucks left on a lead lap, so we've got, trucks like Travis McKinney and Casey Tillman, Corey Walters, who was up in the top 10, so those guys are all still 1 lap down. Guys like John Odenbacher, he's back there 18 laps out. I'm not even sure his truck is still running at this point. Guys who really started off good. I mean, we've got a lot of good names back in the field. I mean, guys like Sean Brightsman, he's had to rally back to even make his way now up back to 7th. Mark Wall's having an off night, running in 5th, so it's really been a night of wild cards here at Martinsville, and I don't think it's a bigger wild card right now than that 1 truck of Caden Anderson, who has really had a terrific run, but he's fallen off that pace since getting a little bit in the back of the 33, because now Josh Cully it's almost like the 1 full second here is we're under 35 laps to go here in Martinsville.
Yeah, it definitely is. Josh Coley wants this win. So does Caden Anderson. But of course, you win and you're in for the chase. So this is not just about getting the win. It is about locking yourself into the playoffs later on in the season. As there's 33 weeks to get a win. The sooner you can get that win, well, obviously the better. So these guys are doing everything they can to try to get that win. And look at this battle right now going on between Ryan Maines, Scott Hutchinson, and Mark Walls. That is a battle currently for 3rd place.
It certainly is. The 13 truck there running there. You get the 91 of Hutchinson, Mark Walls on the 48 back there as well. It's a good race going on back there. 3rd, 4th, and 5th. A little bit sorted out right now as Mark now around Scott Savu. Mark Walls now up to 4th. So that was a good little battle there. There's some distance still to run down. It's 3 seconds between Ryan Maines and Mark Walls on the 48. So they got some lap traffic working there as well. But you talked about earlier, Charles, is lap traffic going to be key here? These guys are usually pretty good at pulling over. Lap traffic is going to be key here at the finish of this race because I don't care where you catch them. You're eventually going to catch somebody at the wrong spot, and it's going to slow you down. And it may open the door for a guy who you may have some distance on to run all that gap back down. So lap traffic here, the way you navigate them, it's going to be really critical to the way this race is going to play out over these last 40 laps.
Yeah, and we're watching this battle here between the 92 and the 13. And I want to point out that the 92 is currently 1 lap down, and so is the 88. So the 13 is actually the only one on the lead lap in this little group. So he's actually kind of having to hold back so that lap cars can battle. He's not the leader. There is no rule anywhere in racing where it says that you have to let a leader by. It's a courtesy thing. There is a blue flag. The blue flag technically with the yellow stripe indicates that you have faster cars coming up upon you. It does not say pull over and get out of the way. That is not what that flag is intended for. And the 13 of Ryan Maines technically 3rd place, and these 2 guys in front of him, while their laps down, or both a lap down, they're racing for position, so they're not just going to let him by, which is slowing him up trying to catch Caden Anderson and Josh Coley.
Absolutely. Those guys are racing for a 10th spot there, McKinney and Tillman there in the 92. But keep in mind, Charles, those guys, the first truck's 1 lap down. They're racing for a Lucky Dog wave around, so of course those guys have to be going. They're racing amongst themselves for not position in the top 10. But if we get another yellow flag, that means a chance that opens this race back up for those guys to race their way back to the lead lap. So for the 88 and the 92, it's got to be all systems to go because there's still so much left here to race for.
It definitely is, and this is by far the longest green flag ascent we have had thus far. That being said, hopefully that didn't just jinx us there a little bit, but we only have 9 trucks on the lead lap, and that could be contributing to why we've seen less cautions here lately, as our last caution was our 12th caution for 60 laps. So we've completed 106 under green, 60 under caution, make it 107 under there. But I don't want to say we're out of the woods as far as cautions go.
No, and you're never out of the woods here at Martinsville. I don't care if you got 30 out there or 3. You can screw up somewhere. I can reckon I own the best of them. I'm sure some of these guys out there, much of they're better than I am. They can do it on them. We see them do selfies too. It's not out of the realm of possibility here. Is you talk about it. You got 33 laps to go. That's still 66 corners left to make. That's 66 times down to the brake pedal, hoping the car will stop, making it turn, and doing it all over again in the next corner. I mean, that's a lot of work still left to do. So it may not be a ton of laps, but these guys still going to keep it underneath them. It can happen on any corner. But you know what? Josh Cully out front right now. That 33 is working lap traffic to his advantage. He has worked his way up now to 1.174 over Caden Anderson of the 1 truck. But Josh has a heavy list of trucks. Look at you go on board that 33 right now. He's got a lot of trucks in front of him, and they're all racing hard.
It definitely does. A ton of cars in front. Most importantly, the 333 looks to be the next one on his list to pick off here. And, you know, let's see the count there. There's like 6 cars in front of him here. So this is bad news for him as we see the 333 blinking because this could allow Caden Anderson to run him down as we're running on board with the 33 of Josh Coley. If he can run him down, this could be a very good battle coming into the closing laps of this race.
There's no if about it. It was 15 car lengths. It's down to about 6 or 7 now in about 2 laps time. So Josh having issues as they're side by side up there racing, that's of course going to impede Josh's progress. I don't care he's a racing guy. Look at Caden Anderson's one truck. It's 4 car lengths off the corner. They're 3 wide in front of the race leader. Josh Cully, there's nothing he can do besides keep it clean right now. Doors open for Caden to charge it. Look at him. Now right to the rear bumper. So in 3 laps, almost a 1.5 second advantage gone. That's just this is wrap traffic. Not only are you going to navigate now through the traffic, you got to defend yourself in the race lead because Caden is there. He beats him on the back bumper. Drama still to play out here. So Caden going to go to the outside. Oh, buddy.
Yeah, this is, this has got to be frustrating here if you're the 33 or Josh Coley, because you look, the 333 is 11 laps down. The 11 that was battling with him is 4 laps down. They're not even on the same lap right now, and they're racing each other side by side out here. So, if you're Josh Coley, you wish you had a horn on that car and maybe a few choice fingers to give them, tell them to get out of the way. You're impeding me here. Is now second place Caden Anderson, who has fresher tires, is right there on his back bumper. And it would not take much for him to use one of these lap cars to get by him.
Oh, and you also keep in mind as the laps run down, you can almost see the difference in the tires on their screen. Josh isn't quite snug into the racetrack the way it was. Caden's is still really good. The tires are fresher. I think that's going to be where this plays out. These last 25 laps, I think this is going to be where fresher tires are going to prevail. Josh has his hands full because Caden's truck is turning a whole lot better right now. You can see it off the corner. He pulls to the low side. He may pull alongside. I thought he was going to be alongside. He's right there tapping on the left rear. Josh Cully right now playing some big defense. You see Caden getting back to the gas early, trying to overdrive it now, getting a little bit of a push there. But this thing's not over yet by a long shot.
It is not over by a long shot. Josh Coley leading. Caden Anderson second. We'll go ahead and put your top 5 on the board there. It's Coley, Anderson, Walls, Breitzman, and Maine. So, all things considered, Sean Breitzman be sitting in 4th place. Not necessarily a bad day for him, but I am not going back there. Look at the 33. He has no clue where to go right now. He does not know where the safe line is. He's going to make contact with the 8. I believe that is Gary Nichols. He is going to get to the back bumper, him, and they are side by side basically for the lead right now.
Well, they were, but, Caden had to pull over there, put the 8 truck back in line on the outside, so they go back to single file formation with 2 lap trucks right ahead, the 76 there right ahead. You can see Josh now trying to force the issue down 3 wide, and man, that got a little hairy there for a second as Josh having to really drive over aggressive as he gets by the 2 of Thurston there. Lap traffic playing a role, but the good news is now you look out ahead, there's some clean racetrack, so now it's going to be who has the better truck, because there is clean air with the 33 and the 1, and if Josh's truck is still as solid as it was, we'll have to wait and see. If there's a time where Caden's tires may come back and bite the 33, it's going to be now, because we're under 20 laps to go here.
They are 19 to go as they come to the back stretch. Clean sailing here, it looks like, for Josh Coley. Let's go on board with him and see. And 1 car that you can see ahead of him, and it is quite a ways off. The thing is, he's not in a spot right now where he can kind of relax and try not to catch that car. He's going to have to try to catch him, because if he doesn't, he's going to get passed by the 1. The good news for him, though, is the 1 is stuck behind the 92 and the 88, as the 92 getting a little loose there. So he has got a 2-car cushion here with lap cars.
And that's just the way you play it like a pro right there. You can almost use those lap cars as a pick, maneuver your way around and get the guy stuck behind you, and he'll lose time there. You can see it on the screen. It's 2 trucks there, and on the racetrack it's well over 1 second. So that may be the move that wins Josh Cully the race, just by positioning where his truck was and getting hit.
And we got the 11 going around. Caution is out. And let's go back. Frank Harris going around with 16 laps to go. This changes everything. Let's go back and see what happened here to the 11 of Frank Harris as he comes out of the corner. And I'm wondering, he's all by himself. I think this was just a self-inflicted wound here as he may have shot himself in the foot going around. So let's see. Indeed, he did. Just loses it there on the front stretch into the inside wall, and that will bring out the caution here on the speedway once again.
It certainly will, and that opens the door for guys. We talked about the 88 of McKinney. First truck one lap down. Travis McKinney may get the wave around here to go back to the lead lap, so that may put 8 trucks in the lead lap, and all of our leaders are in. And you got to think after that long green flag run, you got to think they're going to come in. But the question is now, 2 or 4. I'm down here in the one pit. I see at least right side tires on that number 1 Toyota Tundra. Right side tire. It's only 2 tires for Caden Anderson. He's going to get quick work. He's down the way. Let's see if he beats the 33 up pit road.
Yeah, we'll see as Josh Coley sitting on pit road. Here comes the one, and he's going to take 4 tires of fuel. He beats him off. Sean Brightsman beats both of them off pit road, though. This could be interesting. 2 right side tires for Brightsman and Anderson. Josh Coley opting for 4 tires.
Great move by the 33. Why not? You know you're a good handling truck. I think guys like Sean Brightsman, who's running 450 yellow, if he had a chance to win the race, he had to take 2 right there. But on the 33, let those guys play it out up front. Caden and Sean, they take 2. I'll be the first guy off pit road at 4. They almost say 4 is better than 2. We still got 10 laps or 12 laps remaining here, so if we stay green, the tire is going to warm up. But I want 4, because if I have to make a bold move, I want something that's going to be handled better and stick. So great move on the 33, but I think the 46 made the move of the race he may have to make, because I think if he took 4, I don't think Sean Brightson even puts himself in position to win this race.
Yeah, you know, you're right. If you want to, if you have to do something and try to make it stick, you know, I'm with you. I think Josh Coley made the smart move here. He opted to get some of that Gorilla Glue that sticks to everything and won't let loose, versus a little bit of super glue with just those 2 tires. So, you know, I'm with you. I think Josh Coley made the smart move here. You know, regardless, maybe he gets 3rd place, but I think if we go green, he could probably wheel this car just a little bit more aggressively than these front 2 are going to be able to.
And think back to what we talked to about 90 minutes ago. That qualifying, that number 1 spot, that pit stall. Put that in Sean Brightson's back pocket. 2 tires, the first pit stall. Didn't have to worry about speeding, getting off pit road. Terrific move by him. That first pit stall played a big key right there. We talk about how critical qualifying is. That's why a guy like Josh Coley qualified here at Martinsville tonight.
He did indeed, and right about now, yeah, we'll say it great as green flag is out. We are racing here, 10 laps to go. Josh Coley already up to 2nd place. He gets by Caden Anderson quick. Anderson goes around, and is that going to bring out a caution? And it does. Mark Wall's involved. And so far, no caution coming out for this. There's the caution coming out as we complete 1 lap. Sean Brightsman now out front. Still out front. Josh Coley now to 2nd place. Nobody's coming down pit road.
Oh, hell no. Nobody at this point. But I think the one may have just got loose there on those 2 tires, and he was stuck in the high lane. I'm not sure if he had help or not, Charles, but I think that thing just came out from underneath him, and we talk about it again. You offset the heat with the new rights and the worn lefts. I think he just got a little bit tad loose to disagree with the way the tires run here. Cold tires versus warm racetrack. Racetrack always wins.
I think you're right there. We're going back to the aerial cam here to see exactly what happened. Unfortunately, Mark Wall's getting caught up in it as well. And, oh no, there was contact between the 48 and him. And then the 48 actually ended up spinning out on his own. So contact was made before, or between the 48 of Mark Walls and the one of Caden Anderson to cause all of that.
And Mark Walls is down on pit road. He makes the left-hand turn behind the wall. I think Mark Walls is done here tonight. I think this may be his first DNF of the season. A guy who started the season as a ball of fire. Defending series champion Mark Walls behind the wall, out of the race, and looks like right now, probably guessing probably about a 15th place finish here. We talk about Martinsville. We don't give it enough credit for being a great equalizer of a racetrack that can just tear somebody's season and flip it upside down. a great driver like Mark Walls, he's all done for the night.
Yeah, he is. And not only is he defending champion, he is the defending winner of this race. So unfortunately, not going to be winning here tonight. It's definitely unfortunate for him, as he is one of the greatest here in this league by far.
Well, and we still have the lights on here, the iRacing.com pace car, but you think about it here, Charles, putting 195 laps on the board. The drivers are hot. They battled the racetrack all night long. We've had a whole lot of cautions here this evening. Josh Cully on 4 tires, Sean Brightsman on 2. Josh is going to be on the outside with the benefit of those 4 tires. Who do you put the advantage to right now in this front row? We're going to have a little burst here. You got to think a race for the win. If it's between these two guys clean, you got to think one of these two is going to be the guy coming out on top.
Yeah, I think Josh Coley, is sitting in the best seat right now, as we're going to have 5 to go right there. Keep in mind, this is the point of no return. If a caution comes out after this point, the race would be over. So we're going to have 4 laps to go. So not quite a green-white checker, but how about a green-white checker? Close enough. So 4-lap shootout here to the end. Will we see a caution that ends this race, or will we make it to the white flag and see the checkered come out? Well, we're about to find out. Pace car is diving off. I think Josh Coley is sitting in a pretty good spot right now. As there goes the 46 green flag is out. Josh Coley needs to get to the inside, or he's going to get railroaded here, as he does do so. And now he's got 4 laps to go to run down the 46.
Yeah, and I think his best move there is trying to outgun the 46 on the restart, and Sean was game on it and didn't miss a beat there at all. So I think Josh may have a long road to hoe here now, maybe a few truck lengths behind the 46, but now with 3 laps remaining here in Martinsville, Josh Cully's got 4 tires. Can he run down the back of the 46? I think that restart was the best place to pounce on the outside. He may have been caught napping, but Brightsman there, awesome restart. That may be the move that puts the 46 in victory lane. I guess we'll find out as we got 2 to go from the stand.
And what you have to keep in mind, too, is for anyone out there watching, Sean, we said Coley has the best tires here. I think he had the best shot there. But Brightsman has already led 68 laps. So he's been out front well before now. As they're getting it right there. 1 lap to go. Presented by Northwest Racing Series himself. White flag is in the air. Sean Brightsman out front. Josh Coley behind him, and I don't think it's going to matter here unless something drastic happens. Right there, slip up from the 33. The win tonight going to go to the 46 of Sean Brightsman. Your race win here tonight, followed by Josh Coley and Ryan Maines will be the top 3 we're talking to later tonight.
Absolutely right, and a terrific move there for the 46, putting those 2 tires on, using the benefit of that number 1 pit stall. Sean Brightsman going to find himself the victory lane once again over here at the Northwest Racing Series. These guys are an awesome league, a lot of fun to come cover them. I don't care that it's 1:30 here on the East Coast. There's a lot of fun to come out here and do. Terrific run, great run for Josh Cully. I'm kind of curious to talk to him here in the post-race show and see how he's feeling after coming up just a tad bit short. And I said, look out for that pink truck. Look out for the 13. Ryan Maines has him on a good, solid top 3. That is a night well done, and that truck, for the most part, fenders are all clean. That is the way you do it here at Martinsville. Keep it clean, you end up with a good, solid top 3. I'm ready for some voodoo donuts there, so I'm hoping he's got some down there in the post-race show.
Let's hope he does. And before we go talk to our top 3 out at the track and in the booth, you want to run through our top 15 here in the results? I will bring us home. And then we will get to the post-race show as they're doing some demolition out there.
I can't give you a top 15, Charles. I've already dumped out of my game, so you're going to have to carry that one. I was geared up for the post-race.
Well, he was geared up for the post-race show, so we'll go ahead and get our drivers here. And the unofficial race results, getting the win here tonight is the 46 of Sean Brightsman. A runner-up is going to be the 33 of Josh Coley, followed by the 13 of Ryan Maines, and 4th place, the 88 of Travis McKinney. 5th place will be the 1 of Caden Anderson. 6th place will be the 92 of Casey Tillman. 7th place will be the 91 of Scott Hutchinson. 8th place will be the 2 of James Thurston. 9th will be the 8 of Gary Nichols. And 10th will be the 9 of Corey Walters. The first car a lap down in 11th is going to be the 76 of Rob Stewart. And in 12th will be the 17 of Bill Ross Jr. 13th will be 62 of Gerald Heffley. 14th will be 11 of Frank Harris. 15th will be the 48 of Mark Walls. Having a disappointing night here tonight for sure. 16th will be the 07 of Dana Rogers. 17th will be the 72 of BJ Tidrick. 18th will be the 03 of Daniel Masters. 19th will be the 333 of James Vining. 20th will be the 89 of John Ottenbacher. The 21st will be the 58 of Stephen Paulson. 22nd will be the 27 of AJ Williamson. 23rd will be the 65 of Steve Silstad. 24th will be the 40 of Bruce Weaver. 25th will be the 95 of Josh Cushman. 26th, 28 of William Fletcher. 27th, the 24 of Jeff Stabnow. 28th will be the 26 of Ray Fournier. And rounding out the field here in 29th will be the 77 of Brian Payne, who did not start the night here tonight. He was scored with a DNS. That will do it for the unofficial race results. We're going to take a second to step away. We'll be right back here with your post-race show coming up next. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here with the post-race show, and what a race it was. Eventful, to say the least. We have caught up with the 13 of Ryan Maines, or at least Phil has. So, Phil, we will hand it over to you.
Absolutely right. Come down here alongside the Voodoo Donuts, number 13 of Ryan Maines. And Ryan, a terrific run for you. You kept the fenders clean on that truck all night long, and here you are, our third place finish here after a war tonight here in Martinsville. Tell us about your run.
Oh, it was, nice being back here, by the way. I love what you did with the place. It's been so long. It was really dodging trucks half the night. I got tangled up early on, had to put some duct tape on it early, and ended up just getting lucky and dodging a lot of the rolling cars and stuff, just to get back up front where it's a little more comfortable, and then got lucky with some people getting caught in incidences, and here I am in third again for first time in a while.
That's good to hear that, and good to have you up here at a third place finish. Tell me about how tough it is. We know Martinsville's a tough little racetrack. It's hot here. The tires, the track is warm. The tires are going to be slick out there, of course. But the first half of this race, largely marred by caution flags. Martinsville being such a tough rhythm racetrack the way it is, how tough is it to stay in a rhythm out there? It's warm. You guys are hot in the cockpit, and to stay there behind the pace truck all those laps in the first 100 laps, how tough was it to stay in a rhythm?
It takes a lot of concentration, and you break that rhythm just once, and you're usually losing a few spots out of it, or getting tagged in the back, or tagging somebody in the back. You got to be on guard at all times. My fingers are jittering.
Well, most importantly, I have to ask. I see the sponsor, Voodoo Donuts. Good things come in pink boxes. I totally agree. Do we have a sample down here to try? Because it's saying, break me in over here. I need to try some of these donuts. So we have some down here to sample.
Oh, I love the Cocoa Puff donuts, but my friends love the maple bacon ones. Those are pretty sweet too.
Mouth is watering here as we're approaching breakfast time out here on the East Coast, pushing 2 a.m. So, Ryan, I'm going to give you the mic one final time out here live tonight on the newly coined Full Velocity Racing Network. So, anybody out there still watching out there, friends, family, or sponsors, whoever else you may have to thank out there, the floor is yours. Take it away there, bud.
Well, thanks for I got a nice fancy new name there, FVRN, for covering us, and Wall's Beard Company for their wonderful beard products. It works pretty well. And running the series, really grateful for that, and everyone who's watching and racing today.
Well, it was a great race. Congratulations, folks. There you have it. Driver of Truck 13, Ryan Maines, finishing up third tonight here in Martinsville with a great run. Another guy, an equally great run, but comes up one spot short, and that's the number 33 truck of Josh Cully. He's down there trackside with our own Charles Wooten. So, Charles, take it away.
We do have the 33 of Josh Cully. No stranger to being interviewed here in the post-race show. First off, big congrats to leading so much of this race, but it came up just a little bit short. Looking back, do you think the option to take 4 tires versus 2 on that last stop was what ultimately got you in second place?
Oh yeah, I think that's what happened. I don't know, man. We had a super good truck, and it was ours to lose, and somehow we lost it. But super happy with the performance, and looking forward to next week.
Oh, definitely, we got some great racing ahead of us. Obviously, second place, not the win to lock you in, but you coming out here tonight, excuse me, still fighting that cough, proving that, last season wasn't a fluke. You stuck it to the rest of these drivers and showed them how it was last season, and you're coming back and you're doing it again here this season. So I expect to see great things from you here. Before we get to your sponsors and stuff, we know your car was handling good, but how was the track out there? As the track temp was fluctuating anywhere from 94 to 105. So how was it with these clouds rolling over? Were there times that it handled a little better or worse than others?
Yeah, it changed a lot. There were some laps where you'd go in the corner and you didn't have any grip, and sometimes you'd pull off 0.3 of a lap quicker. So it's neat. I like it because it throws that effect into it. And it's really a driver's track, so you really got to be on your marks and in your rhythm. And once I found my rhythm, I was able just to check out. But in traffic and that kind of thing, your rhythm gets broke up, and it's really hard to run quick laps consistently.
Well, definitely it can be difficult, but you proves here that you know how to get around this place. Again, just unfortunately he's a tad bit short, but overall a great run, and we know you got some sponsors and shout-outs, so who would those be for that second place finish?
I got to thank you guys for broadcasting. The merge seems pretty cool, like a cool deal, so that's exciting. And then Wall's Beard Co. for putting on the series. It's a pretty competitive series this year, and I'm having a lot of fun with the open setups and trying to figure that whole gig out. So it's a hard deal, and it's hard to go fast with these guys. And then I also got to thank White Knuckle Racing, and my mom watches all the time. She always tells me to give her a shout out, so I got to say hi to my mom. And she's one of my biggest fans, evidently. So, and also like to thank just the Northwest Racing Series and everybody else involved.
All right, well, again, congrats on second place. Finishing one spot ahead, that is going to be the 46 of Sean Brightsman, your race winner here tonight. And while he's doing donuts, I think he's done now, and I believe Phil has caught up with him.
Absolutely, as Sean Brightsman climbs out of the 46 truck, and what was really an eventful night there, Sean. You led some laps here early, you got caught up in a wreck back there, you got caught up in a couple of wrecks, had to get stuck back there, use some off strategy on tires, come from the back to the front of the field here, and somehow at the end with that brilliant 2-tire pit stop, you somehow sneak that thing and take it away from Josh here tonight. What a roller coaster of a night there, man. Tell us about the emotions you're feeling down here in Victory Lane. You got to be happy.
Oh man, Phil, I'm ecstatic, man. I can't believe we're in here, Victory Lane, back-to-back wins for the Walls Beard Co. Toyota Tundra. To take a win at Marty, I love Martinsville, one of my favorite tracks, and to take that, snatch that away from Josh there, especially being it's his first win, it feels great. he definitely had a dominant truck, and we have to watch out for the White Knuckle Racing Group. They're coming in strong with some great setups and good chassis. So looking forward to what the rest of the season brings.
And to talk about that number one pit stall tonight, and I think it shows here because Charles and I talked pre-race. A guy like Josh Cully notoriously does not qualify here every week, and he qualified outside pole tonight, made a qualifying lap, which is not the norm, I guess, for Josh. You put it on the pole, that number one pit stall. How much did that play a role in that two-tire stop at the end to go out there from fourth and snooker the lead back away?
Oh, it's a huge part. I think I barely edged out Caden, who also took 2 tires as well, I'm sure. So it's what got me the win. So I mean, really, our whole team, Wicked Chassis Racing, and then the 46's pit crew are the ones that ultimately got the win today.
Well, I know the whole team for the most part had an up and down night, but Sean, you bring it home for the Wicked Chassis team in victory lane. Congratulations. I'm going to toss you the mic one final time out there live, Facebook Live and YouTube. So take it away, whoever you got to thank out there for a great win here once again this evening.
Of course, got to thank Walls Beard Co., Wicked Chassis Racing, Central Welding Supply, everybody at the Northwest Racing Series, Northwest Tour, Full Velocity Racing Network, and just got to give a shout out to the Stabnow family. I just wanted to give you guys a shout out.
Love it. There you have it, folks. Tonight's big winner, truck number 46 is Victory Lane. Sean Brightson, another job well done, picking up yet another win. And that extra bonus point there for winning races of the Chase, Charles, that can go a long way to making up your season there at the end. So if you can grab a win, you get them while you can.
Definitely you can, and that will just about do it here for tonight. Before we do, of course, we need to thank all the sponsors that make this race possible. Of course, the big sponsor on board is Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm. Make sure you check them out at wallsbeardco.com. And, of course, on the broadcast side of things, we wouldn't be here for 2019 if it wasn't for the following partners. Some of them not listed. They will be soon. Those include Northwest Racing Series, Walls Beard Co., RaceOnTexas.com, Hanover Wreckers Service, On the Edge Motorsports, Huffman Designs, and Race Core. Make sure you check out all of these great partners over on the social media site. On behalf of myself, Phil, everyone at the Full Velocity Racing Network, and of course on behalf of the Northwest Racing Series, we will see you next Thursday night for some more exciting racing.